Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us again for a Sunday session. For all any Indians here, I think you must be happy that India won the fucking like match against Pakistan. Any Indians here? Was just watching for a while.
Let's go.
Wait, there should be at least come on. There should be at least like few Indians coming on a Sunday evening.
Yes, sir.
Is that the fake Indian Tata that answered? No, Tata is here. All right. Happy Diwali to anyone celebrating. Yes, I think it's tomorrow. I think for the I think Diwali is tomorrow, I guess. But anyways, I think yeah, I mean, I've been a bit sick, and yeah, kind of like recovered better, like for sure, and just realized how there's no sick leave in NFT space. I couldn't like take a like an apply for sick leave as such. Even RNA, I think, has got COVID. Kind of had to sit through our meetings and stuff. So yeah, I think quite few things happened this week. We just have to you're looking at like restructuring and changing few things. Just because I think Azuki, the incident with Azuki was like, I mean, what happened with Azuki was a big eye opener. I would say, like, it's amazing how a project that's kind of managed to raise about like I think 2,500, I mean, $2.5 million um, for eight skateboards is like thinking about it is crazy. I see some tweets of few people getting pissed about that, and some people actually you know appreciating it in the sense what the team has managed to pull through. I had mixed emotions. I was initially pissed, but then understood, like pissed in a different way, maybe jealous, I would say, in a sense, in a different way, but then kind of like understood, like, what they managed to do and what they've done. They've tapped heavily into the whales mentality of collectibles, who do not want to who do not want to miss a chance to have like a one of eight collection kind of thing. And also, I think the way they brought up the collector symbols and emblems and stuff, and leaving the skateboard as the missing emblem, allowing only eight people in the world to ever have like a full set of like the symbol collected or something, is a very simple move, but it's kind of worked really well, right? Like, it's a very simple thing that we have been like we've been seeing through a lot of games and stuff, and all those things. But that but they implemented that, and it worked really well in their favor. Like a lot of them went on collecting different types of Azukis and stuff. The funny thing is, like, a lot of these kind of ideas of PBTs, or even these kind of like symbols and stuff, it would have passed through in a lot of discussions with a lot of in a lot of team meetings and stuff. But a lot of them might have discounted it at being as a product that where people might have thought that it might not be as valuable as it would have been. Like, it happens a lot in life, right? You think about an idea, and then you're like, maybe you think that the crowd, or the NFT space, or your audience, you think that they might not receive it, but then it gets received. And you think that certain things would be well received, but then people don't care about it. So I made a thread on this, right? Like, what you think is not what everyone thinks, is a big, I think, solid lesson, right? Like, for a lot of us to kind of like, even for us as a team to also think about, so there's obviously, like, it's not like, there's few things that it's not like we don't want to do. It's just that we want to make sure that things are sustainable and make sense before we launch. I think this was one of the threads that I got least reactions on my tweets. I mean, as my tweets in the last, say, a month or so. Understandably so, because not I've just posted the link on the chat, for instance, because it's kind of like speaks about few things that a few of them definitely understand. For few, it might just not be a case. I just wanted to touch upon a little bit on that before continuing, right? What I try to mean by that is that, like, a lot of projects obviously, like, kind of use these NFT raffles or other giveaways and other like digitals, even like hoodies and stuff. Yes, it's a money making side of things, and it kind of like brings this little bit of excitement for holders, because they feel like they have a chance to win like a big NFT or a few NFTs once a month. um, my point was that, or how we thought about it was, how can it be sustainable? Like, what if there's no income? What if there's no royalties? It's not something that can go on for few months or something, right? um, but a lot of them offer this as part of the monthly drops or something for the holders. So we thought differently, but then a lot of them DM me and stuff, like, and stating that the project A allows them to participate on this monthly raffles, and project B allows them. A simple example is potatoes as well. Like, potatoes is a potatoes is an amazing example of how they kind of have been giving away weekly potatoes, which is like about six or seven. um, so six or seven, for example, but then people and one MVP a week, which gives like 10,000 people a chance to win, like, a MVP, which otherwise they probably can't win, is enticing enough for people to hold, isn't it? Like, which is basically, they're holding, like, it's not the floor is not dropping. Yes, there's few factors to it, but just that's one of the examples. And then there's other projects in our same tier, as well, that kind of do this kind of, like, NFT giveaways. Each one's got their own level of thinking, but we just wanted to make sure that we do not just burn our funds for these things which may benefit few people, versus, like, trying to build products that may or can benefit a lot more people. So just wanted to start by saying that, Don has posted here, I also don't know if it's a good idea to cater only to giant whales, cause the second next big rich guy trend comes out, you're not relevant anymore as a project. No, I think I agree, and that's why we haven't done something like that, or we haven't thought in that way, right? We haven't thought in the way of, like, way a lot of projects think. I'm really happy to see quite a lot of them, quite a few of them actually, like, DM me after the thread, mentioning what they think about our mindset and why they still are part of Gojira, and also got few DMs where they expected, like, a little more of, like, short-term rewards as well for holders. Not everything, like, just in long term. I understand the needs. I understand, that not everything is for when the word long term is used. Obviously, the main fear is, for people, like, what if we don't, what if the project fails, what if we don't get anything long term? At least if there's some short term benefits, we at least can be like, at least we got something in the short term, kind of thing. um, I think we, I think for I spoke to, I'm not sure if definitely DJ is here on the call. Had a nice call with him, explained to him about a couple of products that we think can solve this issue. Hopefully, when it's ready, I think you guys would appreciate it. It kind of can allow these kind of, NFTs and raffles to go on a regular basis without having to depend on our money, right? So, your concerns are heard. We definitely would try to, implement our method of, this thing, like, method. Yes, Adis, I saw your thread. Yes, I didn't retweet it, just, but I really liked it. Thanks for that. Thanks for posting threads. I think Adis and Suhan and few other people have always been posting threads. I don't normally retweet those, because, like, there could be one or two information in that might not be, like, coming from us directly, or we might just have hinted about it. So just don't want to give the wrong signal to other people looking at it. Like, for example, the word equity and stuff, just didn't want to, kind of retweet it. But happy for you guys to definitely post your way of, you know, this thing. So some of them are definitely appreciative of the degen mints they get, Scavola, whatever has been put in. I don't even know the number of things that's going on, but we don't want to. I don't want to just kind of like boast about it or post. Yes, some projects do. Quite a lot of projects actually post about their the giveaways and how much of things are happening, because the outside community can know what they're getting. And at this current price of Gen 2, yes, it makes a lot more sense, to kind of like, possibly for people from outside to gain stuff. But I want us to be known for, like, products that we are going to launch, rather than just for, whitelist and stuff, which will eventually, we are definitely working on it, which we eventually will be known for, rather than just being like, more being called as Gojira as like a whitelist hub. um, Azuki and stuff. I mean, we have to learn from other projects and what's been successful for them. doesn't mean it has to be successful for us, but we can take a lesson or two. Like, it's something I don't have shame in admitting that certain things that we did think about. We made a mistake of not of like, we have made mistakes where we thought that these products will not be well received by the communities and have ignored it. And obviously those products have come out from a different team and it becomes, a massive hit, right? So we are also learning as a team, like, just because it's a very different crowd. NFTs are a very NFT crowd is a very different crowd. Even starting with the, I want to address the elephant in the room, like, that's the tokens. Like, for example, like the way when we started it, and for the tokens to shift towards something else at this stage, because of, I don't want to again blame the market, but yes, like, a little bit of than what we calculated, and some delays in certain products for us from our end as well. As definitely, kind of didn't hold up, and it's not something where we can add liquidity to, as I've mentioned. We are considering a change the way the tokens and stuff are working, right? Like, I'm not going to go into details of that, but I think it's going to benefit the ecosystem in a much better way. Regulation side of things as well, as you may know what's happening with Bored Apes. There's quite few projects with tokens that can fall under regulation, although we didn't start the liquidity pool. Still, like, any action that we may take, any action that we may take allows the tokens to fluctuate. It can be an issue. I'm not saying it'll be an issue because we're not based in the US and stuff, but there's a lot of projects that can get into trouble if they haven't like properly, figured out. So it's a general advice from our legal team as well, like, and with few people I spoke about. So we are working on a different model. Just don't want it to be like a thing where we come and drop something new straight up, but we just want to inform the community that we are looking for a shift to a different kind of model, which I think would benefit you guys, and even the project much better. And for the tokens to kind of like, make a lot more sense, it needs to have a liquidity pool, right? It needs to have something like a Bored Ape, kind of like a TGE event, like a token generation event. So yeah, there would be some changes that we are working on it, some uh, and also, what is it? We are also, like, I think we are moving towards soft staking, right? So moving away from the. Oh wait, I think it's my. Can you stop the music? It's my partner, I think, in the back. She was just listening to some music. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so basically, yeah, quite. There's a couple of changes that we think we definitely are needed. So moving away from hard staking to soft staking, and few other like changes the way, as I mentioned, the tokens and stuff are going to work, and a few more options for you to use tokens some outside of the community as well, which has always been our focus. To Because only for a use case within 2,000 people, it's never going to be a token that can be of like, of a crazy value, versus like when it's open to people outside, like ApeCoin for instance, with the proper like token generation and stuff, makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I think that, like, so pretty much, I think some of the lessons we took, we're just going to implement with those changes. As I mentioned, luckily we haven't burnt a lot of funds doing a lot of things that could have been, irrelevant now, or already have come out, been launched by other projects. So I'll leave it up there. And for this week, we would be joined by our entire tools team to talk a lot about, like, what has been done, what have they added. Thanks a lot for all those, I think, 10 plus people who have volunteered to come in and help us test the tools. I think been really, really, I think we have got a really good insight about the changes that we could do. People like, I think, Shoreline is here, and there's some guys, I think. Jonas Blaine has been helping us from almost from 2 weeks ish now. There is Zyle. I think, I don't know if Zyle is here. There's about like 10 plus people that have been helping the tools team as well with some changes, with suggestions. As mentioned, we are just like a small team of tool developers that are trying to work on the changes and stuff. But I want you guys to hear from them. Like the project manager is Alchemist, was introduced to us by Avon. I think some of you would have known Avon from day one. He's one of the OG members. So it's Avon's IRL friend that got introduced to us a few months back, and Alchemist is here. They're just going to explain what are the changes they've done, what are the product, what is the future of it, what else can you expect, and with all the tools, the main question, like addressing the main question here, with many tools coming in, how we could be competitive and how we can still be like make sure there's value for the tool that's going to be dropped, right, which is the most important thing. So Alchemist, I've unmuted you. You could start your convo. I'm going to unmute Wang. And is Rimas here as well? Is here as well. All right. I'm just going to unmute him. All right.
So I'll get started first. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone, depending on where you are around the world. It's quite early for me, but yeah, let's get started. So I'm Alchemist, and I've been working with Rima and Wang for a little over 2 years now. Actually, kind of close to 3 years, but yeah, we started working on online business ever since COVID started, and we started with sneakers anti-bots for those that don't know us, and we worked against companies like Akamai and PX. Now, another popular one you guys may know is Cloudflare, and what we do was basically providing sneaker bots anti-bot security measures. Now, ever since the beginning of this year, or actually towards the end of last year, we started moving towards Web3. And we actually made a bot called Nemesis, and that's how we were introduced to the field. And yeah, like Shan said, we were introduced to Shan a couple months back, towards the beginning of this year, as we were making a game. Now, obviously, we didn't want to drop a game in the current market state. It felt like it would be kind of scummy, right? So we decided to move towards Toolbox, and that's what we're doing right now. Now, Toolbox-wise, we made a lot of progress over the past 4 months. We've been working on it with Sean and others. And 2 weeks ago, we actually had a big Scrum meeting with Zero on the current nature of the tool and the future state of the tools. And I'm sure many of you know Zero. He likes to call himself the tools expert, and I think so too. He gave us a lot of good directions, and yeah, I was super happy with his feedbacks. Looking back at it, we got a lot of directions, and those are the directions I kind of want to talk about in this AMA. But first, my team will kind of go over what we've been doing since 4 months ago, right? A lot of things happened, right? Namely, we changed from JavaScript to Rust and Golang, and if you guys follow programming languages whatsoever, or hype behind some tokens that were launched recently, like Solana, right? Solana is written in Rust, for example, right? So Rima will take over shortly, talking about it, the specific intricate tech stacks that we have introduced to Toolbox that laid the foundation for the rest of the Q4, which we are planning to push and introduce great value to the whole PG community. So Rima, whenever you're ready, let's take a bang at it, and yeah, Wang will talk about what we're doing moving forward. Yeah.
Hello. I'm presuming my mic's working. Yeah, it looks like it is. I had to scroll to find myself. Yeah, I'm Remus, as Alchemist introduced me. I think it's close my second or third time in here, but yeah. So obviously the toolbox we're producing, Speed Analytics, PG Tools, various names, has a really complicated kind of technical side to it, but I'm not going to try and bore you guys too much. But a lot of what we've been working on has been really trying to optimize, because as you all know, the crypto sphere and the NFT sphere is massive, and to give you guys just an idea, on OpenSea alone, I think there's last time I checked, there was 32 million Ethereum NFTs alone. So a lot of what we've been doing is working out how you deal with that much data, and with every day you get tens of thousands of listings and sales coming in. So we've got a really performant database, which we integrate. We communicate through Rust and Golang with that. So the end result of it is, in terms of our performance, we're actually pretty snappy. Where did I go? Am I still in?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Yeah, sorry. I for some reason my Discord started bugging out. Yeah, and what that kind of allows us to do, and why it's important to you guys, is we've got all of the listings and sales ever since we've started running. We listen for all of the data from both providers, so X2, Y2, OpenSea. Obviously, in the future, we're looking at other marketplaces if any ones pop up or start gaining popularity. Blur, Looks Rare, stuff like that, and it lets us get the listings and sales to you guys really quickly. So whenever you'll be on our website, whenever you're on it, you'll have a little connection to our server, which every time an event happens, will instantly send that to you guys. So as Shan posted, a screenshot that's from our live feed page where listings are displayed almost instantly, sales and trades, and live mints as well. So live mints is something we've been experimenting with because obviously minting, degen mints is a big thing in this space. So what we're currently looking at is kind of how can we integrate some cool information about what's minting and what's popular into that app. But yeah, and also after talking with Zero, we kind of figured out that a lot of what goes into trading, it varies entirely depending on person to person, and that's where the kind of personalized option came up. So something we're really excited for is making, adding all sorts of graphs that let you guys personalize and trade however you want to trade, right? So if the listings and sales, the live feeds aren't important to you, you can just get rid of them and look at a purely, graph-based view, and we can add as many widgets as people want or don't want to use. Is the app usable on mobile? The app is not currently, the website is not currently usable on mobile, but we do have plans for mobile. I don't know how much I should say about that, so I'm going to hand it off to Alchemist for that. But yeah.
All right, guys. So Rima, can you tell our audience a little bit more about Rust and Golang? Because I'm sure a lot of them have questions about it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Never heard of them in their life. Yeah. Let's hear a little more.
So
about
they're pretty new little languages. So Rust and Golang are some of the newest, kind of most trendy languages, but there's a good reason for that. So Golang is kind of like, imagine if C and Python had like a bastard child, and that's Golang. So it's really fast and kind of close to the metal. So what we use that for is we pass events from all of the major marketplaces, and that's all done in Golang because it's kind of the perfect language for it. And it's all completely memory safe and everything. And then Rust, the flip side of that, is kind of even more lower level. It is very complex to maintain, but the wonderful thing about Rust is, as if you ever look it up, it will say like complete memory safety, basically meaning because of the way it tracks memory, you're never going to have problems with it. So our APIs will hopefully never go down. And because of that, it's also really, really efficient. So it's never wasting memory or like over allocating stuff, which is a big reason we switched from our original API in JavaScript, is just because it's a lot slower and basically a lot worse at handling, lots of data. So whereas Rust can get 10,000 sales in about a second, JavaScript, it can take, up to like 30 seconds for that. So that's why we swapped over to Rust, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for explaining. And yeah, guys, to my knowledge, most providers codes with JavaScript, TypeScript, and Python, which are on the same level. And, as the nature of the goal, we don't want to push a tool just to have it there, right? I believe that would be a complete market failure. One of the goals and one of the strong wish of Shan and Jamie is to introduce a tool that is market competitive and will have major market share in 2023. And which is why we decided to take such a leap to such a more complex tech. Now, in terms of value to the PG community, there's a lot of aspects to it that we want to introduce. Not just having a tool there, but also on this side of tokens and whatnot, right? So one of the things that we have entertained a lot throughout our discussion was boosting the value of the PG tokens with our toolbox. So even if you're a holder and don't really use toolbox, we really believe that the introduction of toolbox and the completion of it will benefit the brand as a whole very widely, right? Because one of the things we do plan to do, for example, is you can subscribe to our toolbox from the outside with PG tokens, right? And it'll basically burn the amount of PG tokens that's in the market, and while providing a discount, provide incentives for people to use it.
It's also like the personalized feature what we are trying to change, which again, like it's an iterative process. This personalized was a new feature that Zero actually I told the team and to allow people or anybody to set their own. I posted few pictures for those of you missed in the chat column. So the number one is obviously the training collections. Looks similar to other projects, but I mean other tools. But we added the socials section in the front as well. And number two mainly is like we removed. There were 3 columns of listing, sales, and stuff. And removed it to add supply and demand graph and listing graph, so that in the same page there could be like listings, sales, and also trade graph right next to it. And number 3 is obviously the we added this token ID lookup and also token rank lookup. I think I can maybe show a quick demo of how that would work. Like just it's all like simple intricacies, but we want to just make sure that it's like from the user perspective that as a user, if I'm going to go in to the like what are the things that I've been searching for that I don't have to spend like hours searching for, right? For instance, like if I'm just going to go to Azuki here, for instance, and I'm going to put, I hope you guys can see my screen. And obviously this is there in like quite a lot of obviously tools. That's okay. We're working on the colors, so ignore that. But the idea is we have separate colors for under 1%, under 10%, the rest. Right. So different colors. Obviously, we're just working on at this stage, just to make sure that the trades are also having their separate like colors kind of thing. But more importantly, we just added like a simple feature like this rank. For example, someone wants to check rank 1. Obviously here you got the min rank and max rank that you can set up, but if someone is just curious, they want to check up simple features but quick to kind of like search instantly with a single kind of like, we had the space there, so we kind of just used just few more changes. We are moving the buttons of Twitter, Discord, and stuff the across here, so that this space can just be OpenSea, looks rare, X2Y2, and possibly blur if blur is turning out to be the next best system. Added the supply demand graph based on this. I don't know why am I hearing that. Yeah, so supply demand graph as requested. Personalize is another one. I think is definitely one of the differences with a lot of other projects is obviously for us to add like our thing, like whatever widgets you want, you don't have to be forced with the widgets that you guys are seeing, but rather like whatever widgets you guys want, like even resize it, just a simple, obviously just working on optimization, but resize it based on whatever size you guys needed, and add more and more widgets and save it as a custom widget is what I think we suggested as another point, where people can save this setup as investment view or trading view or whatever, view 1, view 2, view 1, view 2, and view 3. Because right now you add a widget and leave it here and you save it and you come back, it'll always be in the same style you left it, right? You go back and you come in again, it's going to be in the same this thing, right? So we just want to change that. And and the live feed, we wanted to add live mints as well, just kind of like optimizing on it. Stuff changed by adding these buttons here so that it directly takes you, shows where it is listed and stuff. X2Y2 or OpenSea and stuff. Just few kind of like some random pop-ups. Just got to look into it, but um, I mean, like it's a process. We just have been getting feedback from few of the holders. So based on the I mean, just wanted to add this column here as well. That's also put in. There's obviously contracts, trending contracts, as well. So I mean, like just few things that were added from last week for those of you who missed it. Just to recap as well.
Yeah, thanks for the recap, Sean. And for those that can see the chat, I think I posted a list of features that Zero and our team brainstormed. You guys can take a look, and we'll be also taking further feedbacks from users that are testing it throughout the week, in terms of what we want to do and accomplish, and the rest of Q4 this year. Now, moving forward, we do have a plan on what we're doing for the rest of the year, and we have crafted a really intricate roadmap. Right now, it's in our workflow. I am in the process of making a graphics, to visualize everything we have. But if you guys want to take a real quick look, I also can give you guys a screenshot. Give you a second. All right, so in our workflow board, it looks something roughly like this. Right. Now, and that's just a sneak peek. Right, I posted in the voice chat. Now,
Posted it here as well. I think Solji has posted. So this is pretty much their target. Like the core features, future features, master list, R&D topics. So these are the additions that the team is, the tools team is also planning to put in. It's a comprehensive list that they are prepared. Like for the stages wise, kind of like development. But for those of you who can just have a look at the screenshot that's posted even in both in voice chat and also in the PGAMA thing.
right. And moving forward, our focus for this week specifically is to make the overall looks of the UI look more presentable. Now, because most of our work have been done in the backend is not that present, right? For example, we switch from JavaScript to Rust. You're not really going to see that reflect on the front end just yet. But the good thing is front end changes are easily done in the aspect that it just takes more iteration per se, right? You guys find a bug, we'll fix it. You guys don't like how this looks, we adjust the margin. They're easy, but just takes time. It takes a little bit of time and effort to sit down and really crack at it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on for the majority of this week. And then our goal is that by next weekend, we can roll out the 3 essential features for everyone to test it. And I do believe that from this Sunday forward, I want to roll in people to test as well, but in a closed matter so that we don't get too many feedback at once. I want like a feedback group of maybe 50 to 100 or less. And that's the goal right now. Yep.
So just to give a little bit of their background, Alchemist, you can also tell about what you guys have been charging and for your Discord server with the sniping and stuff, and how this is going to be also a feature, like what your main experience has been in before, and how long have you guys been running that bots and stuff in your server?
Oh, yeah, of course. So as I have mentioned earlier this year, we started to enter the NFT market, switching from the traditional sneaker bot market, right? And with our experience, we saw a big gap in the NFT botting space, and we made a bot, right? It's what we do best. Now, bots and analytics go hand in hand. We also did something back in the days called monitors, right? Which monitors price drops and restocks. So it's kind of honestly everything goes back in time. Everything's connected somehow. It's pretty weird, but for our main business, we run a bot called Nemesis. And for those for those of you that don't know what a bot is something that it's an application that helps you mint faster than a human ever can. Right? So one of the few jobs we cooked was we minted was PoolCat, for example, right? And we charge 0.8 ETH for initial and 0.1 ETH every single month. for our service, and we are at a close capacity of 250 minters, 250 holders, and we charge them 0.1 ETH a month. Yep.
Oh yeah, for the sniping side, yes, this is where their major experience has been in, like the sniping side. So sniping as such, setting up those shouldn't be a major task for them. It's just this is pretty much like a kind of like comparatively a newer territory. And every time we come up with something, obviously there's more and more tools come up, which is good. Like it's obviously pushing us to think like two steps in the front, like the personalized features and stuff. The aim is obviously to kind of get the let's say the market share as such, right? Like major market share and all those things, right? So obviously that's pretty much our long term aim as such, to get that major market share. So for which we have to think and be like two steps in the front, obviously, to kind of put in almost all the possible features of other tools and multiple different tools all in one spot. If not, it's pretty much like any other tool, right? So it's like unless it's like a one-stop shop, including NFT Go, and those kind of data has to be in a single spot. You don't have to keep shifting. And that's the aim for us as such. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for like, I mean, like, I don't want to. I mean, yeah, I think I don't want to talk about the insurance thing too much at this stage, but yeah, I think there's definitely major progress, and Jamie and Co are like kind of leading it, just addressing that point as well. So to onboard new users, and it's important that we also provide them a safe platform, and then for them to read about how to use and how to kind of like use the system and stuff. Um, Sorry, just one second. Pav, did you guys already drop the tweet for the bot and stuff? Or
Sorry, could you repeat that?
no, I'm asking Pav if they have dropped the tweet for the Discord bot and stuff. Like I think they were supposed to drop it around this time.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, tweet is not out yet, but thanks Nemesis Labs, Alchemist, and his team for coming in and introducing your tools. We also have another team here, Paul and Daniel from Infinite Studio. They have a new product that could showcase to you guys here, and they also have some discount and a free month, things like that. So I'd let them take on this. Obviously, most of you know that we work with Infinite Studio closely, right? They pretty much our dev team and all that, but they do provide services. At the same time, those guys developing some other new tech, new apps and things like that. So today they're gonna introduce one of their new drop to you guys. So Daniel, you here? You wanna jump in? Or Paul?
I think we got a. I think there's this push to talk. Wait, let me kind of remove it.
Okay.
Can we remove that push to talk thing, or is it like? I mean, did we put it for a reason? Like it's kind of like annoying.
Oh, I think the server muted, no? Let me.
Hey guys.
Hey, Paul?
Yeah. Hey guys. Hey. Yeah. We are dropping the new security bot today. Yeah, like Jamie was saying, we've got a pretty significant discount we're going to be applying to anybody in here who's interested in potentially using it and testing it out. Obviously, all the security features are pretty much bang in line with where we want them to be, but like user integration and kind of making sure the process is appropriate for people who want to use it outside of our community is a really important learning process and like iterative process. So we wanted to offer anybody who's a Kajira holder or like anybody generally about a 24-hour period where they can get the bot for free for say the first month and maybe give us some feedback on how to improve our process. I mean, security wise, this is the best bot I've seen. There are features that haven't been seen before to lock down the Discord. The most exciting feature, in my opinion, is there's actually a backup bot that protects the main bot. If something was to go wrong with the main bot, there's like a hidden. We call it the baby bot, but that's not really what it is. It's like almost a level above, that's above every single other person in the server. So if something goes wrong, that just locks the whole thing down. And then I know Jamie is particularly fond of the SMS service that we've got. So if you own a Discord or you're the top of a Discord, if something goes wrong, you'll get a text message, and you will be able to close the server down and shut off any links and anything like that just from your phone. You don't even have to be on Discord. So yeah, there's a lot of features that you won't have seen. That, I mean, a lot of what we're doing right now seems to be security based, like the insurance, like all of that kind of thing. And because I think that's the way we help more people come into this space, especially big money. Like if you're coming in with a lot of money, you don't want to be able to, like, you could lose all that drop of a hat. Like people lose 5, 6 Bored Apes at a time, and that's not what you want when you're spending millions.
I mean, like, is there so the bot is kind of like ready as such for people? I mean, once you guys put up the tweet, it should be ready, isn't it? So, what I'm just repeating for those who missed, in case any of Jira holders that are like project founders or have their own server, they have extended to give it like give a free use case. Am I right, Pav? Like for 24 hours or something.
Yes.
After tweet. So we don't, like, pretty much you guys can test it. Because we have been heavily into Launchpad and stuff, but at the same time, product development is equally important. Infinite Studios, obviously, like, have been working on few products with us, and the security bot is something that we I think the teaser is going to be out soon. So any of the Gojira holders who have their own server, or if you're a project founder, I think quite a few of them would be. You could test this tool for free. They're almost like, Pav, are you gonna give, if it breaches, you're gonna give them back all the NFTs, right? In case it gets hacked.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah,
I am pretty confident I'm pretty confident we're not going to lose anything with our Discord bot. But yeah, maybe I go into hiding if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think the main thing is about I think you guys will see how it's going to work. It kind of like almost sends SMS to your mobile, and you just this like a double safety method, plus also sends an SMS to your mobile, and essentially you just have to kind of like access it from just a quick message will pretty much like secure the entire server. If maybe before posting the tweet, maybe post it here if you have got the video, or unless it's too big and you want to wait for the the Twitter, it's up to you. But yeah, I mean, like, we're definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully, like, because we were not breached for the longest of time. But like we did get breached, and, like, as in like our server didn't get breached, but one of the holders, one of the, I think Jamie or one of the team members got, like, obviously breached in some way or the other. So it can happen. It's very hard to keep, like, always reminding your staff to keep changing 2FA, and it's not just about 2FA. It also can be any webhooks or any kind of random links or anything that you download. It can be a problem, which you can forget as a thing. So, and that's pretty much the reason, like, where we, as we implement more and more projects, even into a launch pad, and even a lot of Web 2 companies that are coming in, we just want like a one-stop solution where we can, uh, one-stop solution where they don't have to worry about the safety and security side. So, and yeah, I think the SMS thing is not a compulsory thing as well, King. So, you don't have to use it if you don't want. It's just an extra service, because sometimes SMS is a better thing than WhatsApp for me, to be honest. Like, just for, at least, it's not a bad thing in a sense where the SMS is just for you to lock down the server and reopen the server kind of thing. So you'll see when the video is out.
Yeah, I think a key thing for it is we've made it as customizable as possible. I was testing it out on the Night Owls server, and you kind of realize that for an alpha community, there's certain features that you might not want to use, like such as the link filtering. It, like, if you post a link that isn't whitelisted, it will remove it before you even see the link, which is, if you're trying to share a link to a new project that's dropping, that's just not appropriate. So I figured that for our server, we had to like not apply that feature, and like you still get a lot of the security features, but it's not necessarily as secure as, say, a Web 2 company coming to the space. We were talking to a client recently who's working with a lot of Web 2 companies, and one thing that they're cognizant of is to be as safe as possible. So we have certain features that essentially lock it down fully. One of our newer features that our developers added is the ability to essentially remove all permissions and put those permissions behind a sub role, which essentially your mod or your admins can apply for and have it for 5 minutes. So all of your team don't have to have these permissions like 24/7. If they need to post in the announcements channel, they can type in a code. They'll get this permission, this role for 5 minutes. They can do what they need to do, and then that role will be removed from them. So it's kind of, there are levels to it that's kind of one of the key things that we wanted to do, where it's simple in the sense that you can have a preset role. There's like these are what we recommend. Then you can also go into the depths of customizing it to exactly how you want it to be. I think Jamie's just posted the video.
Like maybe share the video, for those who don't wanna kind of like download it or something, right? Not sure. Not sure if you guys were able to hear the video. I mean audio and stuff, but I think pretty. Like it was pretty clear, I would say, for most. But more importantly, just in a simple terms, it's just like a simple solution for communities where they can kind of like rest easy. And knowing that, like, there's a backup system. I don't know how many of you saw that baby brother system. So if suppose Infinite bot is taken out, there's also a backup system that would come kind of kick in. So it's kind of hard for someone to bypass both, in case there is a there's a breach and stuff. Don is asking Pav, if does this include auto purging of scam users?
Yeah, so one thing that is on the Discord bot is, so essentially behind the scenes on Discord, there's a lot of information of all the users, and we have a system in place that kind of puts a value on a user, and it gives a user a rating on how likely they are to be a bot. And if a user falls into a certain category of that, we won't allow them to interact in the Discord. They will be removed. And I think in future we're planning on having it customizable so that like you can be slightly more strict on that. So I think most bots are within a 7-day period of an account going live, because I think after 7 days, Discord, like if you don't verify certain things, Discord will just delete your account. So within that first 7 days, a bot is fairly highly likely to be an account is fairly likely to be a bot. So that's where we categorize those and kind of get rid of them early doors. But there's also other features that like Key is the perfect man to kind of explain this. It's kind of a bit more in depth than what I'm aware of, but I just know that we give ratings, and the more likely you are to be a bot, the more likely you are to be removed from the server.
I think pretty much. I think we'll just wait for it, and obviously, like if anyone's interested, we'll post, like an announcement. So any Jira holders, you guys want it for your server or your project, obviously they just wanna give it for free, for the first month or so, and for you guys to try. And if you like, there's obviously like some discounts as well after that, being a holder. So and anything else you wanted to add, Pav?
I just want to confirm that a lot of that the free stuff is going to be for you guys. Like this first 24 hours, if you want to use it, feel free to just join. We'll send out a Discord link where we'll give you access to the bot, and then we'll also have like a customer service there. So anything you need will be available in there to kind of go over the things you need. What we will ask is if you do sign up for that, we'll give you a Google form, and any feedback you have on the bot and how we can make it better, we'd like your feedback on that so we can kind of make this the best product possible. I talk about it quite often, about how like in tech you release a product and it's never going to be what the final product ends up being. It's never going to be perfect, and we're cognizant of that and want to make sure over time we iterate and make it as good as possible.
I think we should also have, a way where we give back something to the Jira holders. Maybe we'll talk about the business side a bit, like, after the testing and stuff, some kind of referral bonuses and stuff later. So if you're bringing in any business or project to us through a form or something and they get onboarded, a percentage of theirs we could be looking at, like, but that's like a business point which we can definitely look at. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, Amrish, but if that's the case, I think we can definitely look at something after, there's a little more testing, from the community side of few other stuff, and in a month or two, definitely we could look into something like that.
Hey guys, this is TC Mint, CEO of Infinity Studios. It's been a pleasure working with Gajira team, Pav, and the rest of the team. But wanted to say one thing I'm very excited about. I know Shan just spoke about the baby bot, but that, I think, what we did before we built this bot, we took a look at every other bot in the market and tried to see what is missing. And I think this baby bot is extremely important because any bot could get compromised. Comparing ourselves to the better bots out there, really you never know what can happen. And this bot basically is in the shadows, and if the Infinity Guard bot gets compromised, this baby bot kicks in, sends a text message to the owners, and you're able to quarantine the whole Discord server. So I think that's something, we're going to highlight this in our post, but that's, I think, something very, very important, that it's kind of like a fail-safe measure that we added in place. So that's something we're really excited about. And with regards to, I think, what Amrish spoke about, I think that's what he referred to with giving, commission to any PG holder that brings us business. That's definitely something on the table. We can discuss the details, but yeah, definitely very excited to release this.
People can't speak because there's a push to talk inside of things. But any questions, guys, just kind of like tag Jamie. I've got another Twitter Spaces now. So any questions, if anyone wants to speak anything about the tools or about there's both guys here, I think, both from the tools team and also from Infinite Studios. In general, if you guys have got any questions and any brainstorming, any ideas that you think that, because the dev teams are also here, you definitely can come up. I want to encourage that kind of a culture where we come up, have some chat, even about normal stuff, any kind of suggestions or any kind of, anything you want to talk to us, just come up. just ask them the questions. It's good for us, even for us, like as a dev, even us, and also the dev team and also the tools team. It's a challenge for us to kind of like build a lot of things from ground up. When fucking like I just made the statement, when eight Azuki skateboards is worth more than the vault of probably 100 projects combined together. It's not an easy thing developing a lot of things, from being at this level. Like even Infinite Studios, they're putting a lot of funds from their pockets to build and develop products. Same thing for us. This that's the way for us to kind of like develop products, like along with them or even PG as such. Not an easy task 100% with having like a guy like Dingaling, for example, single-handedly can buy the entire project out, like technically, right? But like the point what I'm trying to make is like it's we are fighting against the majority, but underdogs know how to spend their money better than like people, right? So we definitely are pretty cautious in the way we spend and the way we come up with products. There's products that we just don't want to launch to make like a one-time funding and stuff, but rather like make products that the entire community would need or use, so that like there's definitely constant flow of income coming in. So any questions, any suggestions, feel free to come up. Just tag Jamie in the PGAMA or voice chat and he can kind of like bring you up. Yeah, I just gotta go for spaces now, but catch you all in another session of this thing. But the other team members would be available. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Also, just wanted to add into what Shan was saying. Obviously, our goal is to make our holders happy, and then a lot of things that we develop build is towards our holders. But at the same time, now, a couple products we're building in the back end that could, broad target, mass audiences as our goal. So definitely there is some things to look forward. Do not want to reveal them at this stage, but obviously, there's a bunch of developments going on from all sides. So yeah, let me know if you guys have questions.
I'll just bring Zero Cool in, till somebody wants to come up about his view on what's happening, and it's gonna go for a few hours then.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
By
Sorry, I'm
the
just waking
way,
up, making some coffee.
before I leave, I'll just for answering Don's question. I got to know he's from Australia. He commented on one of the posts by Posty, and he mentioned that he's from Australia. Then I read he's from Dingaling is from Australia. Already slid into his DMs. So let's see. I mean, if he's based out of Australia, there's a good chance, like possibly, just trying to. I'm not gonna ask for. I mean, not gonna talk about floor sweep and stuff, but just at least a chance for him to just see what we are doing. I think if we get a chance for a call, we can do a lot more. So Dingaling apparently is from Australia, and Posty and these guys are kind of like gonna kind of help connect. Let's see. I've already started jumping in, posting few things in the DM. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna leave. Bye.
I'd personally love to hear some ideas for like potential developments and things that if any Gajira holders have got any ideas to bring forward, like myself and Jamie and Alchemist are in. We have an R&D team which we kind of brainstorm ideas in, and we've got some interesting things coming out. But if there's anybody who like wants to throw anything forward, everything that comes out of this, I see Amrish. Amrish always has ideas. Makes my brain hurt sometimes because they're very complicated, but he always has ideas. But yeah, anything that comes out of the R&D team will directly benefit Gajira holders. So if you want to kind of a complicated thing in this space and a hard thing to kind of get around is everybody seems to come in and have ideas, but you never get the chance to share those. You never get the chance to kind of sit down with people and discuss what you're talking about, because like the space is quite like vampiric in a sense that you're worried that everyone's going to steal them. Like we aren't here to do that. We're here to kind of build together and grow together.
Here, Adis has a really nice question. Is Gelatos something which could potentially have ability to say trade, buy, and sell order, right? Definitely we could, our V1 is basically pretty much, basic things that we included, but we're looking to have analysis and all those things in a V2
Yeah, so Jamie,
version,
yeah,
right?
so Jamie, with that, the thing about like what he's asking is like an auto buy, kind of, or an auto sell. The problem with that is that like you have to be able to put in your key, and like we're trying to get around with having to put out like it's like the it's like the seed phrase version. It's like you have to have a unique key for it, and it's like kind of a little bit people don't like even signing like clicking sign on websites, let alone doing their key in there, because that's what you have to do. Because like any project like Moonpass, for instance, they have your unique key in there, and they're like able to auto buy with that. But like that's something that we were talking about. It's a much different situation when you're doing like stocks and stuff, and you have a sell and a buy order, because you don't have to sign anything. It just automatically sells and does like that. But with NFTs, you actually have to click sign to be able to like sell or to buy something. And so that's like something that we're toying with the idea, but there's no way to get around having your key be out like in the open for your like MetaMask wallet, which is an uneasy feeling for a lot of people. So we talked to the team about that, because I'd love to be able to like have it, set an NFT to be like, say you have, a Jiraverse, and like if it goes up to 0.05, you would love to sell it, but you're not going to list it unless like it goes up there. But what could happen is in the middle of the night, it could go to 0.05, and then guess what? Like, it comes back down because you weren't able to, weren't able to list it. And I'd love to be able to like have it where, you can like automatically set certain things like that and all that good stuff. But like, it's just a little bit more tricky with NFTs. It's just like, and it puts people very uneasy. but yeah, that's it's definitely a different situation.
Definitely exploring a lot of things for this tool. Our aim is to make this pretty much one-stop shop, right? That's our aim. So the development gonna be constant, right? We have devs, we have front end guys, so we're gonna continuously add new things, new features, and all that. So your suggestions, ideas could definitely gonna help us a lot.
I think did Alchemist put some? I think he put somewhere like all the stuff that we are working towards and everything like that. And the beautiful thing is that like when you have a full dev team like this that's able to work and is actually experienced and knowledgeable, we can come up with ideas and we can like pitch them to them. Which like I've been like pitching like crazy to them. Like our calls always last a long time because I'm just going off on like these tangents about like how I'm trading and everything like that. And I know that we have some people from the community that are working out, but like just because you're not like in this group DM or anything like that, it doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out, because this is our tool. Like this is our tool, like as a community. It's like I want everybody to be, if there's one person that uses a certain style of trading, we want to include that style of trading. I teach about momentum trading all the time. So when I was talking to them, I wanted to make sure that we had the widget things so that we could work around. So if you're a rarity sniper, you could change your dashboard to be so it shows like rarities and like things like that, so you can snipe like that. If you're a momentum trader, I want you to be able to change your dashboard. I want it like this tool to not just be how the developers wanted to put it out, but we want it to be a tool for the people. And so if you guys like my DMs literally like always open, or you can tag me, or even like if you open a ticket and like it said like zero cool, like like this is an idea for something, if for some reason I wasn't able to accept a DM or something like that, but like I can work with the team and we can figure out ways to make your idea come and like be like a reality. And that's like something that's very different with a lot of projects, is that like we actually are going to listen to the community, what you guys want. This is for you guys. It's not just like, hey, we did this, here's your project. But we're going to have different rollouts of different versions and things, and we're going to adapt and change stuff to like your guys' liking. So the more feedback you guys give us, Like, I don't want you guys to just be like, oh yeah, that's great, that's cool, because you don't want to stand up to us and tell us that we're wrong. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it looks like shit. Tell me it's something if you feel that way, so that we can fix it. Don't be quiet. Don't sit like that's way more detrimental to the project than if you're just like over here like, you know, buttering our biscuits. Instead, you could just be telling us the truth. So I just want to say that it's like not that anyone's doing that, but I just want to make sure you guys understand that like when you critique stuff, you're not like gonna offend me. You're actually gonna help us to put out a better project, you know, put out a better platform, a better tool for you guys. Because, like I keep on reiterating, it's called Jira tool for a reason. Because we are Jira and it's for us. Okay. Have we, Jamie? Have we talked about like what's gonna happen? Yeah, I see you typing for public access. I don't know if that's been public knowledge or for what's gonna happen because. We have toyed with many ideas, but we do have a lot of things that are in our tool that no other tool is going to have. And at this stage in the game, that's pretty fucking revolutionary because everyone's just copying everyone. And that's kind of like a thing, right? And reinventing the wheel. We're just trying to, you know, make the wheel, you know, just like try to like put the wheel like how the Jira wants the wheel, you know, instead of like trying to reinvent it or anything like that. So, yeah, we've been the week before last was I swear the Alchemist and Rima and Wang like probably like they probably love me, but they probably hate me because I was making them get on calls like all the time because I'm a talker and when I type you're gonna have like 500 messages because I don't type in paragraphs and I just like spout out shit. So like what? Some sucking. But yeah, any other questions or anything that concerning that, please just like feel free to let me know what you guys are thinking and all that good stuff.
Adis, I think I'm not sure if your question is answered, but just to expand on that, is there a cost for tool for holders and it's accessible to public? There's no cost for holders, obviously. The aim for us is to make sure that we don't want to just launch things for public just because we want to make some money, right? We don't want to. That's not our intention. We could have done it when the hype was going on, the tool hype was going on. Easily launching 1,000 passes or making it for public was could have been a thing, right? But the aim is for us not about making money, but to make sure that people automatically come because they like the product, right? That's it. So it's going to be free for Gen 2 and Genesis holders, and for Jira voxels, it's going to be free initially till we decide, for a month or two. It's probably going to be free till we are ready to, give a discount or something for Jira voxel holders. But initially, it's going to be free for all the Jira holders till we. From our community, we get satisfied that this product is worthy of going to the market, and to ensure that there's this unique value proposition. Obviously, cost-wise, we can definitely compete easily with a lot of products out there, but we just want to make sure that it's like a one-stop shop, as Zero mentioned, where anything and everything can be done from here, and just want to destroy in a way like possibly the market, like where people just come and keep launching tools, but almost like impossible to compete with the cost. The aim is to ensure that even people who do not have a lot of money, but they can try and subscribe to this kind of a tool for starters, with add-ons, like with future tools or upgrades will come with like an extra cost for others outside the Jira community side of things. But just to first, we got to make sure and this thing that just this personalized feature, for instance, can be something that I think a lot of them have given positive feedbacks, like because not everybody, it's kind of like doesn't make sense that everyone has to look at the same screen, right? Like why same screen, like you have to have your own way of setting up your screen, because I don't want supply and demand, I don't want listings, I don't want sales, or which makes a lot of sense, but I want, like, say, this graph or a graph of listings, or I want a graph of whatever, like alerts or something. So that's pretty much want to have few more unique value additions, but it'll be like obviously open to Jira holders only at the start. hopefully for a month or something, and then open up to public on a subscription basis or just very minimal passes. We were also talking about how um, how we can pretty much all these users, I mean all these what to say, the data that these guys have collected can evolve into a nice few Discord bots, which can be loved for pass holders or Genesis Gojira holders within the server, where these bots, all these data can be translated into Discord bots as well. So that's the thing. Renting, we are not open yet, at least because we want to make sure that renting is fine. We just want to make sure that there's a constant stream of income coming into the into our tools as well, right? Like, because if you want to keep it free for holders, but then if we are going to allow renting as well, it potentially could mean that we might be void of some income that can help us develop the tools, because one of the major considerations we have as well, right, is that when you give for a big community, a lot of think about sustainability, right? There's a product that you develop, and if you're just gonna keep giving, if it's gonna be free, for instance, there's a market outside that might not be buying because they might feel like it might be cheaper to buy a Gen 2, for instance, but it will reach an equilibrium at a point, right? And again they'll be like, okay, it's better to buy the tool than Gen 2 at this stage or something, and they look to come for subscription models, and that's the only place where you make that money for development and stuff to ensure that the tool thing also keeps going forward without having to stop with new developments. So renting, the thing is, the ultimate aim is to allow people to start renting NFTs and renting some of the use cases which people won't be using, so that the users can make money, which is amazing. But we want to reach a point where there's enough funds first for the tools to be fully built, version 2 or version 3 and stuff. And after that, once we reach a point, then we can start testing the renting features.
Yeah, so I was gonna talk a little bit, as long as Shan's done. Talk about the blur stuff and some of the stuff that they have that also Jared tools will have. One of the big things that I'm trying to do with this tool, like we said, a one-stop shop, and let me elaborate just a little bit on that, is because when I'm doing trading, and I'm sure you guys have seen on some of my when I'm sharing my screen, I go from 5 different platforms. I'll go from NFT Go to NFT Inspect to NFT Nerds to NFT Scoring to all these different, then to Gem or Genie, so that I can do everything that I want to do. To have to go through so many different platforms is just such a time sink. And so what we're trying to do is make it so you have a one-stop shop. If you want to see the holder ratio of how many people own one NFT, 2 NFTs, 3 or more on something, which I think is very interesting information to know about when you're trying to invest in a project. Also to know how long people have held the NFTs for. How long have they, if people are mostly just holding them for less than a month, then that means that this project is just a flipping project. If people are holding them and diamond handing them, they've held them for 6 months, and that's very bullish if you want to invest in something in the long term. Then say you want to be able to sweep and there's a lot of momentum, you have to go literally from NFT Nerds or NFT Scoring or Alpha Sharks or whatever you want to do to go to Gem or Genie to be able to sweep things. And all those things, those just kind of cut into your ability to be an effective trader, an efficient trader, more or less. And that's what we're trying to do. We're going to have different rollouts with different information. Currently, the first version, we are going to be pushing out all of the stuff that you want in a normal tool. And then we're going to be adding on top of that to things that are a little bit more of quality of life changes. And then after that, we're going to be getting more of data. I mean, there's going to be tons of stuff where we're talking about collections and, blue chip collections, who those people are investing in. And you want to follow smart money and things like that. So, I mean, I can't imagine Alchemist and the team. They're probably definitely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that we've been dropping onto them. So we have a very, very, very good version 1, version 2, version 3. To give it all at one time will be a bit of an overload, and it doesn't make sense when we can roll it out in an efficient and effective manner so that everything's done exactly properly, and we're not trying to give you guys anything that's half-assed. Everything needs to be up to par and up to everybody's liking before it's going to be released. That's not what we're into. A lot of other cool stuff that we have in the talks, like some ideas for webhooks to help you guys do momentum trading. Like if a project is getting an X amount of volume, then there will be like something that will be pumped into a channel that will let you guys know, like, hey, this has this much volume, this many 5-minute trades are happening, and this will help you to be like alert you, be like, oh cool, like now I understand to look at this, so I'm getting a notification, so I can come and look at the Jira, use the Jira tool or whatever, and then be able to trade on that. Because a lot of times, like, I don't realize I miss volume is happening because I don't have my screen up, and I don't have to dedicate one entire screen to see what's on the trending collections. Whereas you can get a notification saying, hey, this is not only is it minting, but it also has this much volume and this much trades have been done to it, and over the course of this many minutes and 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and let you know exactly how much momentum is going in, so that if you wanted to, if you're sitting there and you're wanting to make a play, that it will kind of like help you direct you to possible plays in the future. So all really, really, really good stuff. Yeah, the 0% royalties for the blur is definitely something that's a bit interesting, I must say. So yeah, thanks Tata, Big Doug with Degenheim and Jared Tools. I appreciate your kind words as always. Degenheim definitely, it did well, but like we had a front end tech issue that caused people to the front end wasn't speaking to the back end properly, and some people were whitelisted and it was saying that they weren't, and it's become a big fucking issue because people are for some reason fudding and saying that we were over allocated and all this stuff, whereas we just had an issue with our front end developer. And it's the thing that's crazy is that, like, if you've never released a collection and you could plan for months and months and months, and then like on the day of, like, something's just going to go wrong. It's like Murphy's law: what can go wrong will go wrong. And that was something that we did not. We like had mouse dev working our contract. We thought we were all sound on that, but there was an issue with the front end, and that's just something that happens, and we're making it right. And then, but still, people are fudding and calling us a cash grab, even though Degenheim gave away 300 free mints during a entire NFT space tournament, as well as refunding people during the Degenesis collection, as well as now we're going to be refunding people the difference between the mint price and OpenSea price, so that people can go on to OpenSea and they can buy one if they want to, and we will give the difference in that so that people can go there and still be able to mint. But still, we have some people that are fudding. We had this one guy like go off on us like so bad, like call us a cash grab, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like I feel bad for Milan because he's like doing everything. He's like the good guy, the nice guy that finishes last, and then like trying to do right by everything, and then he's still getting fudded for being a cash grab, even though they've given up so much like free money to make the space a better place. So, it is what it is. We'll, time will come. We'll get the game out, and no one will be talking about the stupid FUD. But what we can do is try to do everything we can to be good guys in this space. And I know some Jiras didn't get to mint, and so we're gonna try to make sure we take care of people. So, yeah, people think that you have to work really quickly, but when the mint's going down and the days following the mint go down, there's a lot of shit going on that you have to deal with. And some people, in this space, and I get it, I was same way when I was a grinder and stuff like that. I just wanted everything now. And sometimes it can't all be done that way. So definitely apologies to everybody in the space and for all that good stuff, but team's definitely going to make it right. But yeah, Jared Tools is just going to be so awesome. I mean, I just can't speak highly enough of this widget thing, because I always sat there and was looking at how all the tools were looking. I was like, man, I don't want this graph here. Why is this momentum thing like hidden over here? Like, why is this over here? And like, want to move stuff around. And definitely DJ. I'm attracted to her. But anyways, yeah, I'll chill for a little bit longer if you guys have any questions, or just want to like say things that you love about a certain tool that we could look into and see if we can, Jirify it. Please don't be quiet. It only hurts us if you have ideas and you don't want to do it because we might not react a certain way. So just please let us know what we can do to make everything better. DJ fudding is his favorite pastime. But I'll chill around for a little bit longer this morning. If you guys have any questions, tag me if you want to come off mute or anything like that, or tag me in the chat and ask away.
One who knows Resang, I'm attracted to her. Man, what, bro? This guy, you want to turn this into a fucking this thing? What is it? A PG, like fucking
Confess.
like Tinder kind of thing. She's so feisty. Probably Tata can help 100%. Tata just kind of like show your pic and be like, that's definitely DJ. Probably gonna work.
So good.
Yeah, I think what is it? Just there's another thing I wanted to address on. I think this just I was curious to see projects. I mean, people who are here, like in situation about Kaijira, right? Like it's a very I mean, I hope it's not a very sensitive topic because I don't expect anybody to have been burnt as such, but just was curious to know or like for people to come up and feel like I mean I mean the thing is like what I asked in Twitter was more about like what should a project like that do in a sense where someone's like they tried to make money of 70 ETH or something, let alone that roadmap was missing and all those kind of things, or art was average or whatever, like whatever kind of topics people want to talk about. But my thing was, what should projects do after that, right? In the sense, like there's quite a lot of, tomorrow is going to be a nice topic if you guys have some time. I think in like about 6.5 hours I'm kind of bringing in I think Takova, Art McCarthy, and I think Gray Hazard as well from our community. He's kind of like taken over AIC at this stage. Just some tough questions to like kind of like just answer, and even like for us to discuss, because there's so much of like let's say like ambiguity in the space, and people just easy for people to just call like certain things rug, certain things, and I've faced few things as well, and not gonna lie, it's not a thing that I anticipated to be in, or nor wanted to be in, or not imagine that I would be put into that position as well. But these guys, I think they are even more I think under that kind of a situation. So the thing is, like, what I wanted to see, as in like you guys here, just as a discussion point, Skyjira came out and they told all these things. People were happy for the whitelist. I didn't see a lot of FUD when it kind of started, for sure. Definitely, what to say, like no one fudded at that point. They wanted whitelist spots and everything. And when the project obviously didn't take off or kick off, obviously a lot of people got offended. So the thing is, like, for 10 ETH, they raised about 10 ETH. At that moment, they got to pay for, let's say, artist or whatever, like some devs and stuff. And Pav is here as a dev. As a basic contract, we do charge a pretty decent amount, right? I think about maybe 10 ETH, 8 ETH, 6 ETH, or whatever. I'm happy for you guys to step in, but roughly about like a decent dev is going to charge at least anywhere from 12 to maybe 10 to 12 ETH. I'm not sure what price we charge, guys, but roughly around that price, right? So a project that's raised 10 ETH now, what do you guys think that they should do? I'm happy for someone to come up on stage. Let's say their marketing was bad, their art was bad, or roadmap was not ready. After the project started and this 10 ETH, which is taken entirely by the devs, obviously they got to be paid, or even the little bit of a little bit of the mods and stuff that were involved. So what do you think, as like from a non-founder's point of view, should a project or like that, because it's a it's also important we discuss this kind of topics as well, apart from about our project as such, like just to know. A lot of projects come to us for like some kind of a help or advisory, and we are like not advisory in that sense, like just to ask for recommendation. And I stopped giving a lot in the sense because I didn't know community thinks very differently to the way what we think how things would turn out. Anyone's got any suggestions on like come up, and Tata would probably give you guys some would give some whitelist spots for anyone who comes up, opens up.
Shan, just to kind of back you there on the cost of developing a project, I'd say, like, if a dev's charging a flat rate for a smart contract for a mint site for front end integration, like, I mean, we charge probably about, just for a basic one, we'll charge 15 for the whole stack, but you could probably get it at a cheap version where you're maybe less hands-on and less kind of talking you through the whole process for about 10 ETH minimum,
About 10 ETH, yeah.
or you go for the percentage of mint route, which maybe you don't have to pay out of pocket for it, but the chances are the dev's going to take a lot more upside on that.
Yeah, no, I get it. So let's say roughly about even as a very low end dev is going to charge at least say 6 ETH to 8 ETH. Because we charge 15, people can get it maybe for a percentage and 5 ETH upfront or something like that. So let's say the cost is at least there. My question is not about whether the project is good or not. My question is more about for people so let's say the devs are charging this much, which rightly so. There's like quite some work involved, and there's artists and mods and other payments. And if the project has only raised 10 ETH, how do they refund? And is this called a rug, or is this called like a failed mint, or what should the founder do as such, right? That's pretty much the thing. So anyone wants to come up, I would I think Tata can get something for you guys, because a lot of them are probably not they don't want to come up. DJ, yep, you can come up, you can speak now.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, my take on this Kaijira situation, right? Okay, it's not a rug, okay, because I feel like Yema, right, he actually has the right intention, like to do something in the NFT space. For me, right, I would consider this as actually a failed project. Actually, for me, right, I have no idea why he would actually want to launch a project at this time. Because I'm really clueless, because the thing is that, see, okay, if you're actually launching a project at this time, right, it has to be something which the market has not seen, or it should be like a very unique idea. I mean, you're launching a project, like it's actually like taking parts of like Kaiju Kings and then Godzilla as well, and you call it Kaijira. I mean, to me, it's freaking lame. I don't know how else to put this in a very like polite manner, but it doesn't make sense to launch such a project in this market. Let's say if he actually wants to do something like an alpha group or something, then you should keep it like a small supply. Then I think that is something which can work out in the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you get guys like, for example, who are not in the Godzilla like in Gen 1, and those people that cannot afford like a Genesis Kaiju, you open up that kind of avenue for new people to come in from their own alpha group, share new ideas, share new projects, and then you build your group slowly from there, but I really felt that he was absolutely clueless about how the market was. And to me, actually, right, I think actually I put out a tweet today, and actually he attacked me on the tweet itself. So my tweet is, right, before actually like launching a project, I think founders, right, need to really sit down and think, why should they launch such a project? Because to me, right, Kaijira wasn't needed in this market at all. I mean, that's my take.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming up. I think definitely, I think there was something going on between you and MR. I don't know what was the thing, but the thing is, right? Majority. This is the problem, right? I feel like majority of the projects don't need to come in, and at this stage, if there is no, let's say, like VC funding or a major backup, it's almost impossible for people to even kind of replicate even like this 333, or it's even worse, like when you I feel that you told about the small supply, right, DJ. For me, I feel that the small supplies are going to struggle a lot more. The reason is because they come up with a small supply, they make some money, right? And and then what happens is the small supply, kind of the price, if it is not like super high, which most of them very hard, like 5 ETH or 6 ETH flow, which is very hard in this market. Like say tomorrow I'm going to ask some questions even to Takova, because I think a lot of them need some answers, and this is something that I'm just gonna I just want to bring it out to the public, right? So he started a 300 collection, and then yes, it was all flying and stuff, and then he didn't time it well, and he didn't launch his Gen 2 at the time to even have basic funds. And then when he launched the Gen 2 in the wrong time, there's just enough funds to run for a few months. And then the community started flooding, and then the project came down. So even if we, for instance, hadn't raised funds back then for Gen 2, it would have been hard. Like me or Jamie, we wouldn't have given up on this project either ways. If it means putting our money, that's a different story, right? But the question is like, how do we, even the small supplies? I feel like once they run out of money, they're forced to almost launch like a Gen 2 because they have to, they have to they're stuck in a point where if they leave the project it seems as rug, and if they pretty much don't have the, or if they can't raise the funds with the Gen 2, most of the times they're put in a very not so ideal position, right? So like in a sense, like it's kind of like, yeah, it's getting hard in a way, right? Like I mean, I almost think that the responsibility should fall on us as the community, possibly not to, like, look at minting some of these kind of like projects, like, you know what I mean, like if um, I'm just putting it in terms of, because what we can control, it's very hard for us to control what projects are going to come and what projects are not going to come. But it almost feels like we as a community and as from learning perspective, be super careful of what we mint, and what projects we want to support, in terms of minting, and that's the only thing that's there in our hands. If we ask why does this project come, they're gonna try, like people are gonna keep trying, and you don't know, like, it's this, everyone wants to have like some kind of a success in life, or want to change the path or stuff. But as a community, I think we got to start asking the right questions, ensure that we only buy projects if and only if it makes sense for us. Anyways, I just thought it was an interesting thing, that just wanted to bring it up, because like he was in my DMs and he was asking what do I do, and I'm like, I don't know, I really don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna give any advice and be like, oh, Shan told this, kind of thing, but I really didn't know. And today I saw a tweet and I was surprised, I was shocked, but I mean, not too surprised in a way. He was like, yeah, I'm transferring ownership to some other guy and I'm quitting Kaijira or something, right? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to take it. Like, to be honest, like, so that's why I just thought like, this is not just about Kaijira. It's about a lot of other projects, and I'm having a topic in few hours, and hosted by me and Lumi, right? Like about this rugging versus failed project, and what we can do to kind of like prevent these kind of things.
Can I respond?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, okay, you mentioned about the small supply. So the thing is that you see, like launching a small supply, right? It's, I mean, your point is actually it's right. It's not easy because firstly you're not going to get as much funds comparing to a much larger supply. So in that
Mm-mm.
sense, right? Like you see, I mean, what you did with Jamie for Gojira, right? It's actually the beginning, of the small supply. So after that, you see projects like Atama, they are launching as well, like
Yep.
333 collection as well, right? So
Mm.
like, but you see Atama, right? Okay, for me, I didn't get involved in that because for me, I don't have the time to be in so many alpha groups.
Mm-mm.
I think it's better other people get the opportunity to go into those groups. So, but from my understanding, right, Atama, right, they actually build like over time.
Mm.
There is marketing there. The art is also quite nice, to be quite frank. Yeah. So for me, Kaijira, right, firstly, right, the marketing wasn't there. Like, to be quite frank, right, I didn't even know that Kaijira was minting.
Mm.
It was that bad. Like, I mean, you just imagine, right? I know that other degen projects like, for example, like a Cyber Tokyo, like I got no idea what the hell is that, but I know that it's minting. But for Kaijira, I had no idea whatsoever.
Yep.
So it tells me a lot about that kind of project. There's no marketing. The art is also, oh my god, the art is really bad. I know some people love the art, but to me, the pixelation of the Kaijira, I mean, they look like alligators. I mean, it's just so weird to me. I just don't know why. This is my honest feedback. So,
But that's
like,
fine. It's more so
yeah,
about. I just wanted to get some views from people in the community as well. Like, what like people are thinking about. Like, when these kind of projects come out and they get stuck in this kind of a point. I started suggesting some people, if they're doxing and they're coming up and showing who they are, launch almost like a pledgement. I think I don't know if Pav, you want to talk about it, but like developing a pledgement contract where if there's a chance for these projects to refund back if things don't go the way it seemed like, because a lot of them don't seem to understand the market for sure. They just come up and launch like collections, and it ends up in 5% sales, 10% sales, or 20% sales. We know very well that that's not going to be enough for them to do anything what they plan to do, and still they continue, right? Like, and then they, after a
Yeah.
point, they kind of be like, oh, it's dead, we can't do shit, right? So I almost feel like if a project is setting out with a mission of collecting some funds, if they can't collect that funds, they should fully refund, but it means that there shouldn't be secondary opened up, right? Like, so um yeah, I
Yeah, Shan. So you're bang on there. I mean, the Exodia team, they actually made a contract probably about 6 months ago called ERC 721R, which allows for refunds post mint. I think you have to do that in like, alongside not having a secondary, and it just essentially allows people to get refunds if the collection doesn't sell out. And then we actually made a contract built on top of that, which incorporated uh, essentially prepaying for your whitelist. So you pay ahead of time, and you can kind of guarantee a mint. So I think the idea is there, and I mean it's out there in the open, and founders can use it. But I think the reason we don't see that is because the pure refund contract, there's no benefit to founders. So like it's a space where it's a positive for the space, but it's not necessarily positive for founders. So kind of there's no alignment of incentive there, which is why I don't think we see people using it.
Yeah, I get it. I know it's from their point. It's like, let's at least make some money and pay for all the like a month or two of work and artists and stuff. But eventually, it's almost like if they can't come up with a successful this thing, it almost feels like they're gonna run like in a way, or just give up on the project, right? So which is what's even more scary. Moving forward, like how many people just think that they want their bags to do well, so they're like, yeah, we're bullish on this product and stuff. And even if the supply cut and stuff, it seems like a short term perfect solution. But if they don't have the funds what they set out for, and if they don't get it, it's almost like, for me, it's almost as good as dead, whether it's short term or medium or long term, but it's gonna die. you know that's why I was like, kind of like seeing how we could, or what we can do. But i think this I think there's not much we can do except like we being careful where we're putting our money in. I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, I think as Amresh posted, there's capital costs as well. Like, you spend some money on, but as a founder, I think it's kind of, I mean, some of them told that if you're if you're starting a project, you should take the full responsibility, in the sense like if it fails, you have to take up the responsibility, and it's on you if it fails. Can be a bit harsh in that sense, because like, a lot of people actually might have good intention, good ideas, but probably not necessarily the platform. It's a very new early space. The Web3 is like, it's a super early space. Even like, again, it's we are probably not going to see another Bored Ape. That's the truth. Probably, I think it's kind of like, that's it. There's only can be one Bored Ape kind of thing. But people are always going to try and expect another life changing mint or a drop. It can be changing in a sense, but not necessarily to the level of a Bored Ape or something. Um, that's another point. Some of the innovative ideas are just too early and not ready for the market, and it could be like way too early. So I think it's important, as I mentioned, like, I think it's going to be a slow transition, but I also hope that to an extent, at least our holders, like, Gojira holders, for instance, we start becoming more understanding of the Web3 space, including the risks that are involved. Being early in the space, being early is not necessarily a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, being early can mean you could be the test subjects. Like, you could be the guinea pigs as well. So it's important that you tread carefully, and not just go overly bullish on some random project that's minting out. Yeah, but pretty decent insights, I think, from what I heard. So if anybody wants to come up as well. So yeah, that's the point. Like that, I really want to stick to it. Being early is also being a test subject. If it's almost like somebody's testing some kind of thing on, like, say, like, Wolverine or something. You might come out as an extremely strong personality, or you might turn into something like Deadpool. Like, what I mean. Like, it's you don't know, depending on the experiment, whether it's a good one or a bad one that you're put into. It can determine your path or course, like whether to be a Wolverine or to be a Deadpool at the end. So be early and be angry. Yep.
Actually, Shan, can I actually add one more thing as
Sure.
well? Yeah, like I think earlier on you actually mentioned whether a project can be determined whether it's a rug or whether it's actually a failed project. For me, right, oh my god, actually thinking about it right now, right, I would classify Kajira as a rug.
Mhm.
Reason being because, right, um, I find it very appalling, right, that he would just like give up like that. I mean, I know that the means it didn't go well, but I just don't know. Like, you just give up on your idea, on your project, on your vision,
Mhm.
in just one day or 2 days. Like, it tells me a lot about you as a founder. I mean, are you mature to be a founder? Are you qualified to be a founder? Are you a leader? Can you innovate? Do you have vision? So many factors, and the problem is, right, I think before the community here, especially in Gojira, before they put up their money, right, they need to look at who the founders are. Like, it's better if you know that they are doxed. See their qualifications, see their credentials. I
This
think
was
that's very important, actually.
Thank God you brought this point. That's been my thing almost from day one. I keep telling this. I'm not against people who do not have Web 2 experience or some experience to a level, but I've been an advocate for this. Like, I don't know, again, like, we don't know. We were probably one of the first few projects to docs as well, to let to know. See, you may ask, like, what's there with engineering that's related to Gojira, for instance, right? At least I can bring up management. At least I can bring up, like, project management, or, like, managing staff and people, right? And what Jamie has brought is he's built a multi-million-dollar business by himself, like in Canada before. It's something that we obviously I have been really particular about, and now it's become like, all these like, people, although they were like, it's Web3, you don't have to be doxed and stuff. Look at it now. Almost all the founders or projects that are gonna do well are kinda known or doxed, right? Like, what's hyped, right? You look at whatever hyped or whatever is doing well. Now it's like, the founders, like, you know who they are, and you kinda, it makes a little more sense, because you don't like what we did with Cyber from this thing, Pixelmon. We don't want another incident like that in a way, right? Like, we don't know who he was, or what was his qualification. I brought this up in a spaces once, like, I think 3 months back, and I got flamed for that, and like, for bringing that up in Web3 side of things. They brought up people like Zuckerbergs and stuff, and I was like, bro, he was a dropout from fucking, like MIT or Harvard, and not from some random like, drop out of some random XYZ university, right? Like, it makes a difference, isn't it? Like, whether it's not about, as I mentioned, like, again, you don't have to be educated, or you don't have to have, like, Web2 experience to be successful, but to an extent it just shows who you are as a person and what have you done to an extent, like, just at least the management side of things. And it's also like, we started Gojira. I mean, I know it's a different scenario and different situation, but Genesis, we raised like 15 ETH when it launched, right? And there's projects that start with 10 grand, and there's projects that start with zero, and we started with 15 ETH. There's different situations and scenarios for every project to kind of be like, as long as your community sees that you put an effort, they come back and support you, and, like, be your backing for sure. So, I mean, there's definitely, there's two sides of argument there. But, I mean, it's not about for or against. It's purely for us to kind of, like, understand what you guys are thinking as well in this market. Especially, like, for us also to develop or improvise based on your mindsets. So just curious. I was really curious to see how you guys viewed something like this from the outside. Is there anybody here who thinks that if the floor of an NFT goes below the mint, it's again a rug? I mean, there's quite a few outside our community they do think. I just want to hear you guys as well why you think so, or what the project can do, not make you feel that way and stuff, because it's kind of hard. Like, even now, even other side has gone below the mint at this stage, like a lot below the gas fees itself. And would you consider that as a rug, or is it only because only unknown teams, or what's your take, if anyone's here? Because I think it's always kind of like, I face this a little bit in my DMs as well, from a little bit from the Jira voxel holders. They call us a rug, because they it's below the min price. And I'm like, we just gotta release stuff one by one. And this I've never got that kind of hate DMs from Jira holders as such before, because obviously the flow was in a different state. And at this stage, like, when it's coming from the Jira voxel holders, I do understand a lot of them are newcomers and to the space and stuff. So just wanted to know what you guys think as well. Like, when a floor is below mint, what is the expectations, or what's coming? Like, what's the kind of like thoughts that run in somebody's mind?
I wouldn't mind kind of putting my point across, because I think I've quite an extreme opinion on this. As just I'm very much of the innovation and kind of building side of things, and I think that personally the floor is irrelevant to whether something is a rug or not. I think speculation drives a lot of the price action of NFTs, and like it's quite hard to fight against a macro bear market, and like you could do everything right and you could still end up being below floor. Maybe you've designed your tokenomics and the NFT supply based on a market which was a lot better and a lot healthier, and now you're in a situation where there isn't that demand. I think for me, I think a rug is largely about whether the team is executing on what they set about at the beginning and whether they are willing to pivot on that. I don't think pivoting is necessarily a rug, but I think making sure that the community is involved in that decision making is quite important. If you, as a founder, you know that when you're making a decision, if you're going to get a positive or a negative reaction generally. If you are leaving a project or abandoning it, or kind of essentially changing the roadmap in a direction that you know is going to negatively affect people, I think you have to get people on board before that. I think you have to put your point across and your opinion across, and allow the community to see ahead of time before you do anything extreme.
I think strong points there as well. Like, for I think in terms of the market changes and stuff, for sure. It's just, yeah, it's kind of like, I made a tweet the other day, like, what do you guys like? Some of the guys, like, when you list under 0.01, and why do you do it? Just wanted to understand what people are thinking. I had a chat with few guys, like, pretty deeply, and they were like, frustration. I think majority chose frustration. They're like, I just want that shit out of my wallet. It hasn't been doing anything. At least I want it out of my wallet. So they're happy to even like sell it out at like 0.01 rather than just hold it, because they can make at least some of the gas fees back. Or that's the kind of this thing that's there. Some of the times, yes, it makes sense, like, because it's kind of like they gave up. And some of the times it's like, that those projects can come back and stuff like that. But yeah, I think overall there is definitely a strong belief that if it's basically, if a project is basically, if the floor is below, majority think that it's kind of like rug and kind of like dead. But yeah, I mean, I think it's how do I put it? It's probably a natural process. I think people, like, as we learn and grow, and encounter a lot of different scenarios in our trading life, or investing in Web3, will probably come across a lot of these things. It's going to be filled with regrets of not selling at highs. It'll be filled with regrets for not buying at lows. It'll be filled with regrets for not buying more. This it's always going to be it's always going to be there. Um, so, with all due respect to Emma, it's hard to take derivative projects serious these days. I think it's a different market for sure. I think there was um don't know, just like, there's just definitely, I think, it's some people just try to capitalize on the communities, and from what I spoke to MR, he really wanted to, I think, like similar to DJ, like when I first spoke to him, he came on board and he showed his passport and stuff, and I saw him in video and stuff, just at least wanted to make sure he doesn't run and shit. He wanted to mainly focus on like education and VCs and stuff, but probably he didn't have a plan of how to do it, or to convey it to the communities properly. Like, what's the plan? Like, it's easy to say education, but what do you mean? Are you building a platform? Are you building a revenue stream, or what's the, those are the kind of things, right? I think that we're missing, I would say. So yeah, because tomorrow I have this topic, just getting some points ready. Just don't want to put something uh, out that's gonna come back and flame me. But I don't want to like royally screw up anybody in the spaces tomorrow. But just want to make sure that I make my points, like, um, you know, without being biased and stuff. Just want to make my points, what I think about like what's a rug and what's a failed project. Is there any project that you guys think is a failed project, but you feel like the founder gave it all and then had to give up without any more options or anything else to do? Just have you come across? G, if you say few, you're gonna get flamed by the Takawa haters. Trust me, like, just you probably, like, G and me know a little more from the inside about few than people from the outside, but I think, yeah, he's getting like super flamed for FEW. Um, what's considered failed, as in like Satoshi runners? What happened there? Like, did the founders try everything and then didn't have the funds and they gave up, or not sure what happened there? I would say the Audi one is a failed project. Not exactly, because even like I think a week back I connected and I was like, this is from Web 2, man. You know how the way Web 2 works is really like annoying, in the sense, like, for every single thing they gotta keep getting like approvals after approvals. So, and I don't think they took the funds as such when they donated, and which way they were clear about. And second thing is, a project like, I mean, like a brand like Audi is not going to come and like screw up the community for like few hundred ETH, but maybe they just are, they just didn't realize that Web3 community, like, from the Web2 side, they have the stocks and stuff for which they have to give like an investor's no one fucking knows what happens with Audi. If you buy a stock of Audi or something, you're not going to follow the stocks like exactly what's happening. But in Web3, probably what they fail to realize is that community, or the people keep expecting regular feedbacks, or sorry, regular updates, and which is where I think they kind of like, they lost the plot a little bit. So,
What I would say is I don't necessarily think it's as black and white as people seem to think so far in the space. I think it's more of a spectrum. I think ETH Aliens is a decent example of it, which is obviously one that's recently caused a lot of controversy, where like they did a lot, but I do think, from what I'm aware, that they had stuff planned that never ended up going through. So it's like, where do you draw the line? They executed on a lot of things, but they didn't almost finish it out. And like, how do you finish out? If you are running out of funds, is there a way to finish it, or is it just kind of peter off and quote unquote pivot?
was this about ETH Aliens, or did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
That's one of the things I'm like, I've been researching, and I was looking to address tomorrow as well. Like, so for those who do not know, ETH Aliens was a project by Art McCarthy, and ETH Aliens was, I don't remember the mint price, but it was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it was something like 0.01 or 0.02, I'm not sure, something like a cheap mint, I think. But essentially what happened was they changed it into like a RT pass or something. They changed it in RT pass, where they allowed people with X number of ETH Alien tokens to burn it for the passes, Italians was 0.08. All right. So yeah, thanks for letting me know. So yeah, I think the floor was at 0.01 or something, and to reduce to bring something back out of the Italian stuff, I think what they did was they announced like X number of Italians would be needed to burn it to claim this RT pass or something, but they limited the number of passes, like the RT passes, right? So which effectively meant that a lot of Italians or quite a few Italians were left with just Italian NFTs, and they could neither convert it to RT pass nor there is not any more utility for Italians, right? So that's where I think Morgan Stoney from Root Root brought up the point about it being a rug in a way, because I think he spent about 5 ETH buying Italians and he didn't know about it or something. I don't know the passes and he missed the deadline or something like that, and Italians are now worthless. So it's a pretty interesting thing that happened. And my main questions I would like to ask people essentially how much of funds were taken by the team, what was their payment or salary, and what was these are the things I would consider personally, right? Like if you raised 300 ETH, how much did you take? You took 100 ETH, obviously that's bullshit. Did you take like a monthly salary, or why you guys are not open to a monthly salary or a financial disclosing your finances or something to an extent, at least like just like a pie chart of what went where kind of thing. So I think that's the problem mainly with I think the Italians RT pass conflict that's going on. PBs. There was in the server for sure. All of us were shocked and surprised because it actually got leaked from a mod. They made the team aware, then they were going to make the announcement. It was a long time ago, currently still active and ran from ICE. ICE is actually a end to holder, by the way. All right. About yin yang, how would you term this? Okay, I'll answer this 3D question first. Nope, we are not moving away relic. 100% we are not moving away from the 3D. We do not want to just build something just based on the floor and stuff. What we want to build is the assets which we believe would be useful for people, whether if people are going to dump an asset of Kajira for like 0.01. Okay, it's fine. Like I understand that they expected something early from early on at the stage, but doesn't mean we have to shift away from our planning. We might just delay the claim because of obviously no point in allowing the claim now. First, the VX has to be in a stable position by first people don't even know what they're getting for the VX. A lot of them just bought it for speculation or just bought it and stuff. So once the VX's use cases come in, we believe there's quite some changes, and after that the 3D and stuff would be in. So it's just like it might be on a different timeline than what we planned, but we're not moving away from 3D for sure. What would you consider yin yang? I don't know. I mean, first thing, Nomad is a good friend of mine. In a sense, like I've met him a few times. I've spoken to him like right from the early days. I wouldn't say he's a rugger as such, like from my personal experience, but I didn't even understand why Yin Yang was hyped from first place. I still don't get it. Like I don't know why it was hyped. So only if I understand why Yin Yang was hyped from the start, I can even answer. Uh, you know, to say like can I even answer that question, right? Like what I don't know what utility they promised because I didn't see anything. What did people expect? Everyone was hyped up for the whitelist spots, and I was also like, okay, maybe people like the art or something. And I want to know if anyone here who was dying for Yin Yang's whitelist, what were you expecting? They had a project called Disto Apes before, and most of you know Nomad as a founder had a Disto Ape, and the floor of Distos was at 0.1 or zero point 0.2 ETH. So when that was the case, what was even the reason for the hype of Yin Yang? I'm not sure, right? So when I do not know what was the reason for the hype, it's kind of hard for me to answer whether it's a rug or not because you guys minted it out. You guys wanted the whitelist badly. You guys, as in like I mean the general side of things. So I wouldn't call it a rug. I would say like we bought into it because we believed that we can make some money. We maybe made some price if we sold early on. and I don't know if they promised something and they didn't keep up. So um, they just promised some nice art and lifestyle brand or whatever stuff. But I don't know if they promised anything else, that they'd be like, oh, in a month you're gonna get this or get that, or this is gonna be launched, and that they didn't do, because I never even found a proper page for roadmap and stuff. So personally, I wouldn't call it this thing. It was marketed well for them to make that money, right? Mason, Ghost, Nomad, and those guys. So yeah, I mean that's my view on it. Like if anyone's got a different view on Yin Yang, Josh has got 8. Now I really want to know why people even actually got hyped when Nomad had another project and the flow was down. That's what I don't still get it. Like even same thing with Izu, right? I would come up with the same concept for Izu, in the sense like when the flow was 0.5 ETH and Izu was coming up with a more supply than their G collection. Everyone was hyped for it, and I'm like, I just sometimes I sit and wonder, like, am I in the wrong space, or is the space wrong, right? In the sense where, like, why are people so hyped for something when it's coming from the same team and it doesn't have a different use case? Or why isn't the use case developed beforehand, right? Why isn't the use case developed beforehand? You have the funds from project A, and before launching project B, or another sister project or another project, you would have the funds to build your utility or a use case upfront before coming up with a new project, or taking this pivot, right? So that's my take. I think they were open about Nomad being the founder. I think Yin Yang was the first free whitelist mint by a legit team in the free mint meta. That's why everyone was hyped. So be it. That's it. So but the public also still minted out. So I don't think I personally don't think it's a rugged project. It's just that we probably didn't read it. We overpaid. If it means anything, Josh, you hold 8. Probably it's gonna be going into your hidden folder soon. Yep. Next good question is there a timeline to categorize a failed project? And if there is, what is it? I mean, I would like for some guys like, some guys who are in the traditional investment fields to come up and speak as well. You know, to every product and every project, but everyone if anyone here is like little bit old enough or boomer enough, I don't know if you guys remember or read at least the story of Amazon, or I know it's a unicorn, but even a mid-tiered company was deemed useless and worthless in the start. I don't know how many of you guys know that Google was even offered to be bought up by. I mean, sorry, they went and offered Yahoo to buy them off, right? And Google was not bought away, right? So 5 years later, Google overtook Yahoo. 10 years later, Google overtook other brands, and 20 years later, they are one of the top 3 brands in the world. So if you ask for a timeline, if the project has a right mindset and if they have a right vision, I think people at least have to get on like one of those spaces or one of the AMAs or something to understand what the project is trying to do, right? Or at least fill up the feedback form if they can, like as the least. And if they just want to just come up and open up the floor and they get stressed because the floor is not moving, like that's not going to work. So the timeline for me is it's dependent on more than the timeline. I would say it's going to be dependent on the team behind it, and what they're trying to do. I had them in Spaces early days for Yin Yang, and they mentioned they create a free mint for fun. It ended up being popular and blown out of proportion. Yeah, I spoke to CryptoPal and he mentioned the NFT will have no utility at all. This was 1 week into initial advertising. So Shan, how old are you, bro? I'm 26. I'm 26, but I do read a lot. And I'm traditionally a stock investor before I came into cryptos itself. So been in from early ages. So this is the case. So when a project was started for fun, and with no roadmap, so you buy in for whatever, you buy in for the art, or you buy in for whatever you guys saw in it, right? So Yin Yang was only did partially paid because they saw the hype. It was supposed to be full free. I would kind of agree to that. I think they played it smart. They mentioned it from their Twitter from day one that street list is equals free mint, but they never mentioned that there's going to be public or if public is going to be free. So that was like kind of like some of them took it as half lies, some of them took it as half truth. So depends on how you see it. Yang isn't a rug for me, not even a failed project. I'm kind of in that situation. I don't think they rugged. It's not failed yet if they're gonna do something about it. But a lot of them considered as like kind of like rug project. Like at least from the comments that I see, I think a lot of them consider it as like kind of like a rugged project. Transparency or honesty is what I look for with the team and project. So much bullshit in the space, it's exhausting. We say that, and then if tomorrow another hype project comes, we mint them because we want to try and flip them. We don't even know. As I asked this question, first of all, name some projects where we at least know what the team is taking, right? This is the first question I ask, and like Pat, Postman Pat, if you're here, you can also jump in. But like I'm pretty much like really keen to ask this question even tomorrow in the spaces. Why are you guys scared to reveal what pay you're taking on a monthly basis or what? Like what's the fear stopping you? If you feel that you're taking the right amount, why the fuck are you scared to reveal it to the public? Like are you taking 1 million? Are you taking 5,000 a month or 10,000 a month? Um, you know, why is it hard to reveal the pay as such?
But you're so right though, Shan, right? About the pay part. Like, yeah, if you're actually taking what you should be taking, it would be public. And if you're taking more, then yeah, on that side, yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's a simple question, right? If this person who asked here about transparency, hot spicy sauce, that's where it starts for me. Like from because these funds are where did it come from? Unless I completely got funded like Digidaiku by a VC, I don't have to reveal my wages. Completely understandable, right? I have to reveal what I'm getting paid if my fund is from VCs. But if my fund is coming from the community or from people, whatever project it may be, why is it hard to kind of tell what it is and why do they need an upfront payment? It's not profits right from the mint. This question, if I ask, like obviously, like I get flamed as well from few people by being like, oh, the community is providing more value, so we don't bother as long as the value is coming in and we don't care about what they get paid. If you believe transparency is important, if that is what Web3 is about, and you're just going to be worried about that little bit, that value you feel that you're getting without a transparent team, I don't know how long the value could be. So tomorrow if the team rugs as well, because they'd be like, oh, I'm not getting paid my $1 million a year, I can't continue, and they rug it or drop the project. I think as a community we also have to be prepared for for teams to do that, right? So yeah, I mean that's pretty much I think one of the points that I wanted to bring in. So yes, even I get frustrated with a lot of things, and I know a lot of amounts that certain teams taken, and I get like pissed as well. But what do? I can't come up and post about it. Like I even made a tweet about this rug radio thing, not in a negative way, and I got like kind of like flamed by a few of the rug radio holders. I just put it in a positive way that Rug Radio charges 5 ETH for a spaces, and I'm like, we got to learn how these guys are capitalizing and making money, and it was taken negatively, and I was like flamed by a few of the even Farouk himself, right? Like leaving all the important topics. This is what happened. Like when I kind of this.
I might just play devil's advocate on this one because, like, when I made my project a while ago, we announced we were like completely transparent with mint funds and how much each of us were getting paid, and have done ever since. But I mean, it depends what you classify NFT purchases as. Like, if we say we're investors, then yes, it's important for people to share like how much they're making and how much the team are taking. But if we're not, and it is just a private business,
Yep.
like realistically, they probably don't have to share with us. But I am definitely on the transparency side, and I think if we want to kind of have these NFTs as being fairly integrated parts of a business, and obviously we don't want to be classified as securities, but we want to be kind of somewhere in between. I think that transparency is important, but I do get why like somebody would say, "Oh no, we're a private business, so that's kind of internal."
Yeah, I agree, Pav. I completely agree with you. There is no need to show, right? The question is, many are not even incorporated as a business. So where is this business part coming in? They just like, if it's like, oh, we are a private business and they come in and raise funds from people. I know it's not investment and it's almost like NFTs are more like consumer based product and stuff, right? But why do you first have to use Tornado Cash to pay yourself some wages? Why do you have to take it to your bank? Why do you have to take it to your exchange? When Web3, you can do a business from Web2. Like, for example, you guys are running this, currently you're running this, dev work. You don't have to reveal what's your percentage you're taking. That's completely a service industry and service model, right? You don't have to reveal what's your percentage or how much you're making. Even the mint fees, you don't have to come out and reveal because no one's. It's a different thing, right? But say a project like ours, where did we get the funds from? Like I'm purely talking in terms of um, you know, it's as much as we say it's not investment vehicle and stuff, we still are raised funds from people. And again, I'm not saying that the teams are going to come forward and tell because they're taking more than they feel that if the community knows what they're taking, community won't be happy about it, right? Like they won't be happy knowing that teams are all taking $10,000 a month and there's 10 members in the team and the money will run out in like 6 months. um, I feel that's where the problem is, right? If the community knows what's happening to an extent, as much as it's not compulsory, but at least don't have to, take it to your bank accounts and don't have to take it to your exchanges and don't have to use Tornado Cash from the vault funds to pay yourself. Um, I kind of feel that that's the least. You don't have to declare like a income statement, at least like like stocks and stuff. Um, I don't know, just at least I'm saying like to avoid like for me, if you're gonna ask me how do you look into buying into a project, like there's few factors that I started looking at and I'm not buying into any of those because there's so much of shit happening in the space that at least I want to know. oh, there's certain things that the team is trying. If you ask me, like I want to support new projects, but at the same time I don't want to get caught in drugs. How do I do that? Right.
I think there's actually a space for a service which kind of provides this information because it really is all on chain, isn't it? So you can directly see where the funds go. So I think there would be a space for a service which essentially tracks where teams' funds go and maybe take some community initiative to get involved, like label wallets and stuff like that. But because it's all on chain, the information is public. It's just a case of the NFT holders themselves don't know that. They aren't aware themselves. So there's no centralized point of it. I guess a business like that wouldn't be monetizable. It would be profitable because it would be like a public service. But I think somebody could eventually build something like that. I could imagine Zach doing something like
Yeah, that actually Zach or somebody had makes sense. Like we can't do it, but almost like a transaction viewer kind of thing. So maybe it's a part that you can add in tools as well. Like you go and click Azuki or even Gojira or whatever, and you can exactly see how the contract funds have moved and stuff like that as in a visual way. I think that's actually a cool addition. I think like for those who want transparency and those who wanna like kind of look at like certain things and how the funds have been moving around or what's happening. Not a bad idea to be honest. Like to integrate in the tools.
It sounds a pretty good idea. I think it's definitely needs to happen.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them have started realizing that at least like like how do I? If you ask me, the reason why I brought up this payment thing is Pav because if you're gonna classify something as a rug and a failed project, you need to know what was used as the team funds before I can allow it to be called as a failed or a rug project. Okay, if the team legit tried hard and then they took 200 ETH themselves, I wouldn't allow it to be called as a failed project. It's a rug for me. Like straight up, you overpaid yourself to an extent, but you don't have to underpay yourself, but you pay yourself like at least like as a as a minimum amount that makes sense for you to run the business. That it's kind of like a startup in a different way, right? You if you're going to take up 20 grand a month from the pay, and then there's 5-member team, and you're losing $100,000 a month just for 5 people. Um, and then you're gonna claim the project failed. It's a rug for me. If Azuki's Zagabond is gonna take 50 grand a month now, possibly it's fine because he's got money for like probably like 30 years, to this thing. How many projects have got that much of funds, but then they're still taking that much of funds to their if a very good example is Habibis when I posted about it, right? 500 ETH out of 700 ETH taken personally to the wallet of this thing, and Habibi's holders at the time in March were like, I don't care, they were getting our value, so there's 200 ETH left for us. And now if Habibi's fails, would you call it a failed project or rug project, right? For me, it's a rug project, 100%, because the founder took a lot more than reasonably as from the percentage side. So purely it comes down for me, like just the transparency thing I brought up only because of this thing. What is it? What do I say? Like the tomorrow's topic that's going to come up that I'm going to bring up, and this is going to be one point that I'm going to bring up before I can judge whether a project is failed or whether a project is rugged.
I do agree. I think that there's an element of there's two different ways to spend all your money, and one is to give it all to the team, and one is if you spent all your money on the products and those products just didn't work out, then yes, it's just a fail. I fully agree on that. Like if you could, it's not you can't save yourself by saying we ran out of funds, because if all the funds went to you, which right now I don't necessarily know, and like there's no obvious way to find out unless you go through the depths of the contract and go into the details of it. Like I think that's a lot of it, is that transparency isn't there currently, is that unless somebody delves really deep like Zach does, we never find out.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy, and but I think I'm definitely going to look at talking to the tools team and having a section there, like a almost like a transparency voting or column or something where essentially it allows people to kind of just put in the smart contract, see where the funds have gone, majority at least, along like which wallets or at least what's holding what. But anyways, that's just it's a long topic, but any other questions or any other additions you guys want to add? I'm hyped for tomorrow's spaces. I'm kind of nervous, but I think we just want to see, you just want to just posting it here for those who missed. It's about I don't know 250 people that have clicked that they're coming up for tomorrow's, but just want to bring up few of topics that we discussed here. Just want to hear from these guys' mouth in case any of you are holders of their projects as well. Comment below any questions you want to ask under this tweet. If you guys want to ask me to ask any particular questions to anybody on the stage or in general, just comment below and I'll make sure that the question is kind of asked. So yeah, I'm curious to see how people feel. It's in about, I think, 7 hours. I think it's roughly in about 6.5 hours.
Yeah, 7. 6.5.
Right, and we're gonna get roasted, man.
I'll protect him.
Yeah, you're gonna protect him. See, I think as I said, I'm not pro someone or against someone, but having met him and having known exactly, personally, I went through the funds as well, where all his funds went and stuff. And I feel that it's reasonable whatever he showed, but I'm not going to talk about that in the spaces. I'm going to be neutral about it, but I'm going to ask him to tell about the funds as well, possibly if he wants, publicly if he's open. But I think some people I think they just either there's mismanagement of funds. Not in this case, not necessarily mismanagement. It's more about not collecting enough and then promising more and then not making from Gen 2 and then kind of not able to keep up the promises kind of thing. So that's a different story. But yeah, there's a lot of money involved. People buying in the highs stuff. Already going, it's for sure going to start some Twitter drama, no matter how balanced the discussion. mean, let's see. I feel like this guy Pat Postman is gonna be a big contributor to make this a big drama for sure.
Yeah, if you guys need me to say anything, hit me up if there's
Yeah,
things
Posty.
There's quite a few questions I can't ask, so I'm using Pat to ask some questions.
Yeah,
So he's-
let him
No,
fall
no,
on the
no one
landmine. Lay
uses
on the
the time.
landmine.
I'll just ask what I like.
Obviously, I gotta be behind the screen. I've got few questions that I want to ask personally, but I know if I ask, it'll flame the fucking like spaces. So I'm gonna like kind of like I have few setups. They're gonna come up and ask questions. So don't think I'm being diplomatic. If you guys think that I'm gonna be diplomatic tomorrow, I don't want to like kind of like be like shilling villain and kind of like because I have a project to protect as well. So I'm not gonna be like directly come and flame anybody. It's not. See, for me, it's not about flaming. It's more about just want to get the opinions of different people on stage for people to see what they think or what they think, what's a failed project, what's a rug project, what's a project like Takowa's projects like McCarthy's, and maybe possibly other project founders also if they're gonna come up on stage. So yeah. All right. Any other questions before? A question for G. G. Go for
I
it.
got a question for you, Sean.
What is that?
You know the auction that Azuki had yesterday, right?
Yep.
Do you think? Yeah, would you say that that kind of money should be put into some kind of community vault?
Bro, if you're gonna ask me all these moral questions, I have so many moral problems in place. I'll keep speaking about it for ages. All right. If you're gonna talk about morality, it's not. This is not the space for it. That's all I can say. If you're gonna think about, do they need this much money? People are ready to buy. People like Dingaling probably have like $2 billion and they don't care about $1 million for. for
Oh no, it's not about that, Sean.
I
I'm
know,
saying
bro.
shouldn't it stay within the community per se at least?
I would say personally, if you ask me, I would have, if it was legit me, I would have probably done this as a, I would have announced it later as a charity auction, to be very frank. I would have just taken up the cost for the, the event and cost for the development because I don't need money, right? I've got money. I'm going to raise funds from other things as well. I would have definitely done that. That's me again. But them they see it as a way for bringing in more revenue streams or bringing in money from the richest, right? Like they feel like there's a lot of rich people who are ready to pay more money, so they see it as a way to fund more stuff. They can announce the next thing. I even posted today in the next tweet. Am I gonna put like a proof of bean auction next, right? That's probably for the next small fishes. Maybe they could be like beans, like golden beans that you can participate in for raffles or something like that, or buy it for $10,000 or something, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was me. I would have probably. I don't think I would have put it for community funds if I was Azuki because there's so much money already that they have. I think we are talking in multi millions. Like, we are not even close, man. We're not even like 1% of what Azuki has as funds, right? So that's the level of funds that they've got. So I would have probably moved it towards like an auction side of like charity auction side of things. But yeah, each one's got their stuff. I mean, I would,
Poor thing. Jesus.
bro. Their 8x sales is worth more than Jira's entire liquid cash, bro. Come on, how, you're asking the wrong person the wrong question.
Yep.
When I saw the money, I was so many things was running in my mind. I'm like, bro, guys, just give me like 10% of that. I'll make sure like I fast forward 10 of my other products that I want to launch. Right, like biggest struggle for us or major hindrance for us is a little bit of like I don't want to burn out the funds, right? So if I get like 10% of that as an extra bonus in my hand, I probably can. That's how my mind thinks. Right? Like in terms of when I see stuff like that. But kudos to them. They managed to bring up the hype and build the hype and build a brand like that, where they could, execute something like this. I'm not sure even if Bored Apes have got that kind of a classy feel that Azuki is bringing out now to the holders. right? Like, in terms of their swag or the looks and stuff. So I'm taking it as a learning lesson as well, like, for us to improvise on other stuff, on building these narratives and stuff. We have stayed away from a lot of this fake hypes and fake pumps and stuff. As you like, as you may also know, Pat, like, we could have sold the, Gen 2 for a much higher price.
Oh yeah, completely.
It's more about like we were thinking very differently, and we were like, we thought we wanted to avoid those kind of unnecessary pumps off floor and people getting caught bag holding and stuff like that. If there's pre-reveal pump and then dump because of those hype thing. We didn't even pop up in IC tools and stuff. We had a different kind of a thinking, but obviously I think few of them definitely appreciate that the reason why we did it and why we went through. But a lot probably they don't get it, like why do they have to do this, why they had to do like that. They could have raised, even some of them they asked me why you should have raised a lot more funds and stuff like that. Yes, should have, could have, but yes, moving forward, it's all like like a lesson for us. But I still am happy with the way we launched, and so far how we have built our narrative. If someone's gonna come and question me about, like, Shan, this is what you guys came up and this is the amount that you guys raised and stuff, I can happily show how the funds were used and stuff, and we never overcharged for our product. We started with, I'm happy to have like undercharge than overcharge. That's the narrative that we wanted to spin. That's it. So yeah, I mean, it's a different kind of a skateboard is a different thing, like for sure. I think classier than a gold-plated skateboard, 100%. Like, you're gonna definitely use it on the roads, and Tingling is probably gonna do some, moves with it.
Yeah, he's gonna go kickflip and destroy the board.
Maybe he'll do some partnership with Nouns with their new streetwear shit.
Who?
That would be interesting. Nouns
Nouns.
have a street or a like skate, a kind of skate sub down that they've funded.
Nouns are crazy. They kind of like. I don't know how many of you know about Nouns, but they have a.
They got rid of their Discord as well last week.
Is it?
Yeah.
So Nouns, basically, for those who do not know, it's a project that kind of launches one NFT a day in auction, and every day, trust me, I'm not joking when I say that it goes for 60 plus ETH every day. Every day, it's being sold for 60. So all the money goes into treasury, and then they kind of like build some products, not to make revenue, but to build a brand as such. So basically, every single day on average, they're making 60 ETH in this market as well. So which is crazy when we think about it. So it's crazy, like So the team doesn't profit, but they kind of like put this, this every day. They have this kind of like proposals and stuff that comes from within the Nouns holders, and it can be as stupid as just New York fashion ramp walk, $200,000, and if it gets approved by majority of the people, and $200,000 would be paid to the guy, kind of like find a person to make Nouns briefcase during a ramp walk in New York. So I think Amrish, I think the skate, weird choice of physical flex. And I think the skate, I think they wanted to kind of do something with stake, STAK, like stake, right? Like staking has become like a very commonly used word. So I think they probably went with skate for that, and also Japanese culture and all those kind of things, anime and stuff. So I think skate, that's the thing they came up with for skate and stuff. They probably could have done even a stake, STEAK, like probably a gold plated stake or something. Yeah, maybe we can do a golden Jira poop auction if anyone wants to participate. Like
Golden lizard.
golden lizard poop.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that meets the eye with Suzuki. I feel a lot of stuff that we don't really know what's going on, and I mean, the initial pump that they had was just like didn't make any sense like months and months ago. None of this shit makes any sense. So I think there's a lot more that meets the eye than we know what's going on with Suzuki.
It's the art. I think. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm not an artist, or I don't have the sense or taste for art. But when 100 people are going to say something is looking good, another 100 when they walk in, at least 90 are going to feel like, oh shit, it's amazing. Like, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know. I personally felt that the art was almost like a lot of anime projects for me personally, right? I wasn't like, really, me, I didn't find it any different. But for a lot of people, they found it different, right? So I leave it there. I'm not going to question art. I'm not like a like whatever you call it, like what's the person who kind of like can talk about art, like an art critic or something, right? I have no qualifications on that. So I mean, people loved it, so that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I thought like the art was cool, but like kind of feel like I was one of those people that who started really liking it because it was becoming very valuable as well. Like, I mean, like it's like if Izuki was 0.5 right now, would it be as like sought after? Like if it's same art, same everything, as it is if it's 10 ETH. I mean, when it's over 10 ETH, you're like, wow, damn, the art just got cooler, like without actually saying that, but your brain, just the way humans operate, it's a really interesting thing because people don't give a fuck about things until things are worth a lot of money, and that's the truth. I mean, like think about moonbirds.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's definitely floor makes things look better. Like, it's no,
Yeah,
it's about it. But like, the way they market it definitely hands down to that. Like, the trailer and the way they put the video, like, it's
it's sexy.
definitely it's sexy. But yeah, I think like again, like if you have money, you can do stuff. That's it. Like, in the sense, that's where I kind of prefer in that sense. Like, would I want to put 40 grand on trailers, or would I prefer to put, as I said, like each one, I learned a lesson as well. Like, the way you think is not the way others think, right? So putting a 40 grand on trailers, you can obviously, this, you can get even the Hollywood level, guys in, like, if you had seen, even Clementine's Nightmare, put up a trailer, like, early on, right? Which is high quality trailer, right? It's about the timing. If they launched this before the Genesis collection, instead of the Gen 2 drop. This trailer is one of the best that I've seen, like almost like a Disney styled quality for me personally, right? If you guys have a look at it, those who haven't had a look, 36K views and stuff. For me, it's one of like a really high quality, like nice, looking trailer, right? But you know how much they spent on that? That's the question. 30 grand.
Yeah,
Spent 30 grand on that fucking trailer, right? So it all comes down to uh, you know it comes down to what you want to do. So that's pretty
I'm
much
What for
just to be
Azuki? What
honest.
amazes?
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say about Azuki, like obviously the marketing's bang on, but what they released, it wasn't particularly innovative. It was essentially an NFC chip slightly adjusted. It was like they just branded it very, very well. Like anybody could have done it. There was. I mean, Volchor did exactly the same thing and pretended that he invented the NFC chip about 3 months ago. There's
Yeah, pretty
nothing new
much,
there.
right? The where to earn, right? Like that. I didn't want to make that statement publicly because I would get flamed again. But
Yeah.
that's why I made a very cryptic tweet about, like, it's how do you market simple thing in a complex way and a complex thing in a simple way. That chip, if we announced it, it would have been looked up on differently versus the way they brought it up, because it's something that we discussed about, and we kind of like, in a way, to an extent, honestly, Izu kind of have that where to earn concept, which is exactly the same. It's like, I I don't know how many of you know, Izu has announced the where to earn, where the shirt is pretty much got a NFC chip, and you scan it, you have access. If it goes to someone else, they scan it, they get that, and they get that clothing, right? If someone, if like people like me, for instance, where there's somewhat a Twitter viewership, if I go and post this, I would get flamed unnecessarily, and that prevents me from doing a lot of things, because I have a project and I can't. I learned that, like, I can't just freely tweet about everything, right? And if people like Patrick or other people here post, there's not many views or anything, right? So the question is it marketing or is it actually the tech? It's purely marketing. It's like Apple, like, they copy Android's features after 5 years or something. But Apple, the way they branded in Keynote, they're like, oh shit, it's sophisticated and complicated and amazing and stuff. But Android users would have had those features 7 years back, right? Like, how long did it take for Apple to get Bluetooth fucking on the phone? Like, how many of you have been using from iPhone 3? I've been
Yeah.
using for, I had to wait for Bluetooth for ages, right? So the thing is, it's the world is marketing, man. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You can even sell poop if you have like good marketing. That's it. Like, you know, you'd be like Queen Elizabeth's last poop. You know, you guys want to spend like $100 million to preserve it. There's gonna be someone who's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
It's a big I'm not suited for that, so I'm hoping that the team led by Ambrish is going to handle that, because I kind of am straightforward. I can't like kind of like do bullshit just for the sake of pumping the floor and stuff. But I can guarantee that Izu's concept is pretty much the same as Proof of Skate. For anyone who wants to come and argue about it, I've got my points as well. It's not, as I mentioned, like I'm not a supporter of Cyclic or Izu or anything as such, right? Purely, I'm just making statements from the tech standpoint of a view that it's exactly the same.
And the thing is, like, it was around even before then. Like, NFCs have been around for probably 9 months, 12 months now. So it's just both of them have kind of pitched it in their own way and sold
Yep.
it very, very well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's narrative is as much as important as the tech in it. That's like there's a lot of projects that we have been noticing. We thought we were the first ones to come up with an idea, and then we do some market research. Then we see that another project had launched it, but the project is dead. Right? I'm like, bro, these guys were way ahead of the tech side of things, but just that it was way, the tech was way too early that people didn't understand. It's about, like, as I mentioned, like, complex idea in a simple way, and simple idea in a complex way. It's a very like it's very important, like, a simple, how are you going to sell a simple solution, where people are going to think it's very sophisticated, and how you're going to make sure that your complex idea is kind of like understood in a very simple way for people as well. That's very important. Anybody else wants to come on stage, guys? Just tag me in the PGA may chat or something. Just don't want to, I just don't want to be the only one speaking about, like, if you guys want to come and share your views or opinions on anything. I'm just going to try and server unmute a lot of you guys manually. um Spicy as pro, so if anybody wants to come up here, just feel free to.
I think that the point you made with that tweet is quite an important, because, like, I've been pitching this idea recently in the R&D chat, and what I'm struggling with is kind of, if I can't explain it to people who know an awful lot about the space, how am I going to explain it to kind of the everyday trader who is going to be using it in the end? Like, it has to be easy to explain. Like, people aren't going to read a whole white paper.
I fail in that sense. Like, I kind of talk a lot of like terms about like equity or this thing and stuff, or sustainability and stuff. Common traders don't want to know about it. They don't care what the fuck sustainability is. They just be like, they see a Bored Ape put up for Bored Ape put up for a raffle on a monthly basis. They'd be like, oh shit, I'm have a chance to win this every month. Even after 3 months, the funds would dry up, right? So even I'm trying to learn to how to communicate in a simpler way, to make sure that, like, everybody kind of understands in a simpler way, right? I think that's very important. That's very important, that the commoners also, they understand what that is used. I talk about P by E ratio as if everybody knows about it, and or something, for instance, right? Majority don't know, and they don't give a damn. They think that this guy's just blabbering something, and they just like kind of you know just can't participate in the conversation. It's an art. It's an art to try and communicate things in a very simple way that everyone can understand. I've kind of opened up. I think I kind of unmuted a lot of you guys. If anyone wants to jump in, can try. All right. I think Pav, when you guys are putting up the tweet, and I'll try and jump in. Yamar is also here. Yamar, we were having a conversation about Kaijira a while back. It was a big, I mean, like a long conversation. um, yeah, I think I've opened up. If anyone wants to come, just no. Right, so I think then we can wrap up. Pav, let me know when the tweet goes up. I probably have to sleep a bit. I think there's a space, 2 hours.
Yeah, you gotta go to sleep, Sean. Seriously.
Yeah, it'll be up soon. Don't worry. It'll be up 20 minutes.
Says
or something like
Posty, who doesn't sleep.
What do you want about?
You're a non-sleeping cunt, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Fucking robotic cunt over here.
Man, Posty got Dingling to reply to his tweet today, so he's connecting me with Dingling soon. His Dingling is also Aussie apparently, so he replied below Posty's.
God. What did you
So-
have to do to get that, Posty?
Nothing. I did nothing. He was like, bro. He was like, bro, what the fuck? I am Aussie too, and like
Yeah, no, he triggered a lot of people. Like, check the post what he posted, right? Like, motherfucker just kind of like he triggered quite a few people. It's one of his tweets with the highest interactions actually in the longest of times. That tweet triggered Dingaling to come up and be
oh
like,
wrong. Fuck, I
What?
copied the wrong one.
Which one is it? I gotta see.
Oh yeah, I put that one. Yeah.
All season Web3 tier list.
Look at where he put Walter up, bro. Fucking.
Holy shit. Just- Pussy, man, I fucking love you. I fucking love you, dude. Like, that fucking tier list is the best shit I've ever seen.
Do we need to do one for America as well? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
I think,
Jesus, your Twitter dick is so big, Posty. Fucking hell yeah.
So I kind of sometimes feel jealous that, like, there's few people that can post whatever they want to post, like. So yeah, I think.
Shan, it's called a burner.
You know that I don't have a burner. I've got. I think Posty knows. I've got quite a few burners where I've come and put my thoughts in. I can't actually do it. Yeah, I think. But yeah, it's not. It has got like 200 followers or something. So it's obviously no one's gonna come on. But so much of bullshit and like certain things, right? So it'll be pretty weird.
Yeah, there's this space is
If Dingling
frustrating.
actually gets on a call and he likes us, right? That fucker can literally sweep the entire fucking project in a second when you think about it, right, man? 100 board apes, fucking 100 Macy's.
The other one though is Seed Phrase as well, but he's yet
Yeah.
to respond.
It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't believe that somebody from Australia. I'm pretty sure it's the guy whom you posted, Posty, the guy who made $100 million.
Yeah, that's Seed Phrase, and then the other one
Yeah.
was yeah.
Ah, the Sparky, was it?
Yeah, that's Seed Phrase.
Fuck. So now, oh man, how did they hold till like it turned into 100 million? That's the biggest question. So server workers, seed phrase. Did he reveal that's who he is? So kind of.
Yeah, down at the bottom it has him as Seed Phrase.
Holy shit.
Which point Shan will start worrying about floor price? I'm worried even at this stage, man. Who told I'm not? I 100% I'm worried. Contrary to all these things that I don't care. I mean, like people don't care about the floor price. I do care about floor price, to be honest. Like at least I care because holders care about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I don't know.
Well,
I
mean, Shan, it's a weird thing. It's the whole like the metric of the floor price is like tells you how happy you can be about a project. It's weird because it's like not true, because you could come in here every day, you get value, the Jira tools comes out, you buy stuff off the marketplace, you make money that way, you learn a lot in chat, you have friends, you have family in here and all this stuff. But if the floor price is lower than what you paid for it, you randomly just don't really like, you think that you're not getting your value. And it's like a weird like mental thing. Like the floor prices really fucks with people's head. Honestly, even if they're still getting all the value and everyone's delivering exactly what they wanted, if they bought it high and it's lower now, people are going to be unhappy, no matter if they're getting tons of value or not. It's a very strange thing.
I think it's floor price is speculation. That's it. Like
Yeah.
floor price for me is like about speculation. You as a holder, what you think. If you as a holder, what you think you're gonna get as a value in the future, or what you're expecting, maybe like a token airdrops that can probably pay you like more than what you paid for. So the speculation is what kind of like keeps driving. I think it's hard, like it's not easy, like even you guys can see even Llama is trying really hard to keep the Twitter kind of community like really hyped up by just posting almost every day about a lot of things like about tokens or about what's going to come and stuff. But it's going to burn out after a point. You can't just try and hold back a community. Like you got to slowly build it into a community where there's a set of like-minded individuals. It's a work. Definitely, it's not an easy thing, but it is work. Quite a different level of work involvement, especially in this market. You gotta bring in like people who don't just come in just expecting like a life-changing wealth instantly, but just they come in to support a project where they think that the project is moving in the right track, or at least in the track what they expect, or kind of like they resonate with. um, if as I mentioned, like floor price, if you guys have suggestions on what to do for the floor price, yes, like we can, the amount is like if like I'm not kidding, right? Like there's a couple of guys who swept Jiras for 100 ETH each when ETH was also high and floor was higher at the time. It's not about that. It's our supply is so low, and then with fusion and stuff, supply even going lower. So I'm not to this thing about like that part of as I mentioned, like floor price for me is about speculation, and I'm bothered, but not not like bothered where it's affecting my sleep and stuff. Like I like it's a tough topic. I think each one's got their own views. I want to make sure that it's kind of it's kind of false if I say I'm not worried about the flow, because giving back value is what's going to make people hold back, right? So you cannot deny the fact that flow is important, right? So you can't be like, oh, I don't care about flow, right? But like the thing that your thing is going to bring back value to holders at whatever price point they entered is what's allowing people to hold. Like at the end of the day, whatever we say, majority are here for money. Like yes, some of them I really appreciate they're here for the ride. They believe that like that they want to be part of this kind of an underdog journey and stuff. But what is value? Like what is value? Like in return, like value is about flow or regular deliverables. What are you spending your general like you know let's say like what are you spending on your general life that you think the project that you hold can um, make your life easier, right? Is it like building a game, for example, right? For instance, right? We can't build a game like that, right? Like we didn't raise enough funds to build a game, or even like some random play to earn in a way where it's going to be like pump and dumpish kind of thing. So short-term solutions, if I do like I do kind of like express my concerns here and there to my team, like guys, what do we do? Do we need to do something? Do we need to use up our tom cards for to get people excited? Because like if floor is going down, people might feel like little down or something, at least some of them, because although many don't want to sell, they just want to look at the floor and be like, yeah, okay, it's holding well, I'm happy, right? So like I think it's I mean, as I said, like I do care, but I don't want to stress too much about it, in the sense like we are going to keep progressing with our with our internal roadmap, if I may say that way, and whatever products we're going to build or bring and stuff, and the way how we want to shift this NFTs as a pass for multiple things. Till then, we got to just keep doing what we got to do. If you're going to worry about things that's not in our control, like I can argue with the same thing, like is a community not holding because of what? Like M1st, there is no roadmap, no this thing, and M1st floor is 1 point some ETH, right? So at one point, some ETH for a project that the founders rugged and stuff and all those things, right? For instance, right? Not Jira M1st, I mean the normal M1st, and the guy left and still the community is holding strong and stuff. So is it like team doing something right or team doing something wrong, or what's? There's no team there. Like it's a community that came forward to kind of like hold something at this stage. And Azuki, if I'm holding a 12 ETH Azuki at this stage, am I getting 12 ETH worth of value? So there's a lot of points that come through, right? You can't compare multiple different projects or the way things are done. I'm not gonna go on Twitter and just hype up just for the sake, if that's what your question was. Like I'm not gonna just go and be like, oh, you guys are gonna miss out if you're not holding a Jira or if you're not holding this thing and stuff. I don't want to do that, right? I feel that it's not worth it, or it's not going to be the reason for sustaining this thing. Recently been having a lot more exposure than before, so getting on spaces, getting on different spaces, getting on connections, speaking with few VCs or companies or whatever that's needed for us to build some partnerships and build some products, physical products. That's our target, and we're just going to keep moving with that target side of things. Yeah, I mean, like, where is the end point? Like, if the floor is at 2 ETH, would you be happy? If the floor is at 3 ETH, would you be happy? 4 ETH, would you be happy? And after that, what? How do you keep going up? So at any point, right? I mean, it's as I said, like I'm here for spaces. You guys can come and talk, bring up your points, bring your suggestions. What do you think can be done or what should be done, other than just me using the Twitter for shilling Gojira? I know if I'm going to be like, you guys are be prepared for what's coming, and if I make a tweet and just keep Q4 is our stuff, there could be a lot of people that they just feel more confident just hearing that, maybe, right? I don't want to do that. Okay, I know what's coming, I know what we are building, and what are the values here. Okay, so a simple thing, right? Like, do any of you know whom all we have officially partnered with, and what are the names coming out? You guys don't know, right? And when these names come out, let people are going to see it by themselves, and you want to treat that as bullish or not, you'll decide when the partnership announcements are made, who's the merge partnership that we signed, or who's coming up, or any of those things, right? So I think I'll leave it up to as and when the project comes in, because if I'm going to announce something now and it takes a month or a week or something, I get like put under the bus even for that. You're like, Shan, you told this, it's not coming yet. And the Web 2 projects work in a very, very slow and a different way. Don't think that I'm happy not getting those approvals soon. Like, where they give this verbal approval and written approval, but we have to officially sign something. They take forever because they involve principles, this and that. I had a call with definitely DJ. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, probably left after I told. Yeah, I leaked some of the info to him, like personally, because he's kind of like pitching in some ideas and stuff. I got on a one-on-one call with him, and I showed him what are the partnerships we got, and he as a holder, he was very happy to know that, right? So it's more about like for us to just convey it in a point when we have it in hand, rather than just post it up front and just keep building hype. It's not easy. So once 100% that we are ready with the product in hand, it'll be more than easy for us to kind of post about it. It's been less than a year for us. Like, what, March is when Gen 2s came out, and it's like 6 months. We're not VC funded, we're not like all those things, but we're definitely going to have a lot of proud partnerships that you guys are going to be happy about. That's pretty much what I can guarantee. But it's not just for Gojira, guys. If any project's floor is bothering you or not letting you be at peace, don't think that's what you should be holding. Like, I'm just being very honest here as a friend, or as a like, not a financial advisor, but obviously any investment shouldn't let you be you know, like very, like irritable about or worried about or like stressing you or something, right? um, if you trust a project or if you trust a product, you buy in and just continue with your work. If you haven't achieved that financial freedom yet, but if you're going to buy into something fully expecting financial freedom early on, that is where I think your majority of the stress would come in. Like, that's what I feel, at least, like, because that's how I was. I bought into something. I'm like, Bitcoin has to go to 100K, then I can retire for life, kind of thing, right? That's where I'm constantly, I was looking at the flow. And the day when I stopped that and I was just like, okay, I believe in the fundamentals or whatever, and I've been like DCAing into Bitcoin or ETH, now I'm in a very comfortable position comparatively, right? So, um, floor wise, yeah, it's not an easy talk, but this is my open, open suggestions, open view about the flow from my point. Yeah, Amresh, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it just feels like I just want to tell something to just, be like, yes, this is what's coming up, and just please bear with us, kind of thing. But I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know what we could have done different. Maybe I up, the expectations, so that there is like keep the expectations at check, kind of thing. I'm not a hype guy. I like to keep the expectations in check and kind of like come up with stuff, because I was sharing a lot of things because I thought, like, at the time I was like, yeah, people are gonna take it, like, the thing, like, it's gonna come, but you don't know when, because it takes time for a lot of things to come out, right? But then as soon as we tell something, it's like expected immediately, which is where, like, it's there's a lot of um, complexity that I learned as well, like, announcing something. Um, Again, not comparing the project, but it's not easy. There is a reason why a lot of projects just not launching. At least the top projects, if we can learn something from them and we are trying to follow a little bit of their path, like Doodles or Azuki, they technically, after a year, they haven't launched a product as such, right? Right. There's a reason for it. They just want to make sure whatever product that they launch, if they launch, it's unique, or it comes up with backing, or it comes up with amazing, testing and everything done, so that when the product is dropped, it's flawless, right? Um, so, and what do the holders, if you ask, what do the holders get as a Doodles holder? It's just the speculation of what's coming next. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's a, as I said, it's not an easy thing to explain from my perspective as a founder, but for me, definitely it bothers me, the flow. I do compare sometimes and be like, wait, what the fuck, guys? Seriously, what are you getting there that you're not getting here, kind of thing, or what are you not seeing what we are doing, kind of thing? But at the same time, it's important for us. What's the important thing, even if it's at the 3rd floor at this stage, is that the end game. The end game, there's no end game, right? There's no end game. If the stock goes to $1,000, then what, 2,000, then what, 4,000, and then what, 5,000. There's no end game, right? So if we just stress and kind of make some decisions just because we want to please few people who are pissed at this stage, um, it's a forever, like a chasing game that will keep going on. Question is, would Doodles work now if they launched in this market? Of course not. I can almost guarantee it won't work. They probably would need all these VC funding well in front before they can even launch in this market. Guaranteed, if something's going to launch now without VC funding, as good as dead. What are the hyped projects now? Memeland, VCs. It's the next one. Ether, VCs. Valhalla, VC. What else is there? Think of any hyped project that people want whitelist for. It's completely VC funded, right? VC funded is again moving back almost towards like a Web 2 kind of system. I don't even know why we need to come into Web 3 for that. That's my take on it. I mean, like, anyways, it's each one's got their own, and I also think it's really hard for new communities to come and become like a strong communities, for instance, right? Like, it's very hard. Like what was built last year, it's going to be hard because the expectations are going to be like super high and super this thing. for a normal project to come out and then have a strong community like kaijus or gojiras. uh, I don't know if we would see another llama or another gojira, another kaiju emerge from these markets. um it's highly turned into into a VC play. Actually thinking about it, is there even a hyped project in the last 3 months that's not VC funded and the floor is maintaining or something, or even a community to call like strong community and stuff? It almost seems like everything is from the last year or something, like llamas and gojiras and kaijus and stuff. I don't think.
Was QQL VC funded?
QQL is like, it's Fidenza, like basically it's
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
know it's art, but still, it still counts as a project to a degree. You know what I mean?
But they don't have a roadmap as such. It's purely one-time art drop, and
It's not just one time though, Shan. It's the community is building, or the community technically is building the project.
to an extent, yes, I agree. But is there a community as such that's running with a PFP or this thing?
Yeah,
or an
true. Okay, yeah.
What when you buy QQL, what's your expectation, Posty? That are you gonna get?
No. The expectation there, right, is that there is a market of people who are creating QQL. What I'm getting at there is potentially the idea of PFP projects is dead.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I mean, like as I mentioned, like there's a separate target audience for artworks by Beeple or Tyler Hobbs and stuff, right? To an extent, their job has become pretty easy, like in the sense like M first, right? Satoshi, whatever he did, and he openly rugged and left, right? And there was no roadmap promise, nothing. People just bought in because they just vibed with it and all those kind of things. Made his money left, right, for instance. Okay, so similarly with Tyler Hobbs, tomorrow he's like, guys, I'm retiring, right? In fact, his value of his artwork would go higher than lower if you think about it, because like, oh, no more artwork by Tyler Hobbs, no more artwork by Beeple, right? If Beeple is going to retire and he's going to be like, there's no more drops from me, all of Beeple's work is going to be valued 2 or 3x more. And if Beeple dies, for instance, it's going to be even 10x more, right? Because people are buying those projects with a different mentality. Your Llamaverse and Gojira holders are not going to buy into QQL as much as you would expect somebody like Cosmoda, Medici, and all those rich guys, super rich whales to buy into, right? Because the target audience is different in my opinion, like like 50 and 100 ETHs, where like let me put it simple way, right? If someone's buying a Gojira Gen 2 or a Llamaverse for 1 ETH, right, most probably for them that's a lot of money. All right, most probably for them that's a lot of money. They want to come and extract as much as value as possible. People like dinglings buy NFTs in thousands of ETH. They don't have time to look for 1 ETH, half a ETH. Agreed? So if he's going to buy QQL for 20 ETH, he's not going to look at selling it. It's just forgotten. It's there in his wallet and it's one of the 5,000 NFTs sitting in there. And Fidenzas and QQLs are like those for me, like who can afford those NFTs from right from get-go. Even projects like Moonbird was not affordable to a common man. All right, like a common person was not able to afford mints like even Moonbirds in that, for that matter, right? But say something like kaijus or llamas or gojiras or even like PA psychedelic for that matter was affordable by most of the people when it came out to mint as such, right? So your target audience is entirely different. I sometimes feel like it's like PXN tried something and that's not something that worked. They did have a high mint price and stuff. It definitely didn't work. Although they tried to have a different target audience with a higher mint price and stuff like that, right? So I think QQL and stuff I wouldn't consider it as a community side of things, because these are all, we're talking about extremely rich communities, right, where they don't talk about flow, right? They talk about what to buy next for fun. So I'm not going to worry about even if QQL goes to zero, because the guy Tyler has his name now. So there's no chance or there's no option for rugging as such, because he didn't promise that, guys, you're going to get like tokens, you're going to get whitelisted,
true.
metaverses and stuff. It's purely a generative art. I'm going to use my name. I'm going to make money. You guys can make money with my product after I die or after I retire. That's it. So I would say that it's completely different to this. Community-based projects are profitable once the masses are in here. This will happen in the bull runs. Exactly. Utility or community-based projects would be in probably obviously in bull runs, but no one knows when that's going to happen, or will it happen, or as in the crazy bull run like what we had before. Nobody knows. It's what stimulus or what's going to kick it off. Maybe inflation down is probably going to kick off, or ETH at 5,000 maybe is going to kick off. No one knows, right? But it's more about which projects are built. Kind of like, I want to use this cliche word building, but which projects have got stuff ready for the bull market, right? Where people, when new entrants come in, they'll start looking at projects. They're like, oh, Bored Apes not affordable. Azuki is not affordable. What are the next tiers of projects? There's Kaijus, Cyberkongs, Jiras, and Llamas, right? For instance, I don't want to put. I'm not putting us in that same category, or I don't want to. It's not like I'm comparing. I'm just purely going by, let's say, what people perceive from the outside, right? They perceive these are community-based utility projects, for instance. That's where I'm saying, the masses can afford, projects like these than projects like Bored Apes and Mutants, for instance, when they come in. So that's where the mass onboarding and stuff would take place. At this stage, floor side of things, only as a community, if they feel or they believe or they come into spaces or they ask the questions, if they feel that what we are trying to do or what we are answering or what we are trying to build here makes sense, and they be like, okay, I'm going to take my shot with Gojira. Gojira is my one of those projects where I want to take the shot with. I'm not going to just sell it just for the sake. Let me just leave it and trust the team, right? Set of 2,000 or 2,200 people to feel the same way. That's when the floor can move as such. If suggestion forms are open as always, or you guys, I'm opening up even the spaces for anybody to come and talk. If you feel like there is something organic that we could do that you think we are not doing in terms of getting people on, I don't want it to be like Ponzi where I want to get more people on board, but at least something you feel like, oh Shan, I heard this kind of a thing in a different server, that's why some people are not buying, or this is something you guys can try or something. This is what the spaces or stages are there for you guys to come up. But if you're gonna be like, Shan, do something, make the floor go up, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to anything artificial to try and bring that up. That's it. People like Posty, right? Who's here, who's been talking, or I don't know if Rinsler is here as well, who bought a Genesis last week. I think he's gone to Bali. These guys are people who bought after I met them IRL and discussed a lot of plans that a lot of them do not know about. So, these people are in the sense where, few times I met a month or later, or the day we met, or within the week, they bought into Gojira. Because they understood what's happening, they wanted to be part of the journey, and they wanted to invest or buy into the project, right? So why is that happening when with 20 plus people from Melbourne alone has bought in the last, say, 3 weeks after meeting in person? And why is it not happening in a mass scale is what we need to figure out. The aim is that I keep on going on spaces and keep explaining a lot of things and revealing a lot of things, or just on board people as and when I meet, and if they like, they're gonna come on board. I think a lot of products or details that we are gonna launch, and I think, or whomever we have partnered with, if we pretty much leak them, there's probably gonna be a run and stuff, right? But it's again sustainability, guys. I just don't wanna just pump up something and just keep building up some stupid hype just for the reason. We need to get attention on our project, yes, for them to see what's happening. That is why we are hoping to kind of create that kind of an visibility to our project. Maybe see even this kind of the Discord aim is, if we do it in spaces, there's probably going to be extra 20-30 people, or maybe even 50 people listening to it.
It'll be more than 20 people, Sean. And the other thing is, if you do it in spaces, you also then have the thing of cross contamination, or not contamination, but
Pollination.
pollination as well as its marketing at the same time.
That's what see. We are going to move towards spaces. But I just wanted the tools at least like kind of ready and out before I start spaces on a Sunday instead of Discord. This thing where obviously you guys can put the questions here, but I'm trying to build that audience as well. Like right now, Posty, like the spaces what we conducted and all those things raked in like 300, 400, 500 people at once. And we never shilled about Gojira. We purely spoke about Web3. But then this Sunday, the aim is to shift this PGAMA on like Townhall from Sundays to pretty much like Twitter Spaces. So the audience is already built and probably have like like an alternative 12-hour period. So it's like on one Sunday at like 12 a.m. and one Sunday like 12 p.m. or something. So that like different set of people can also come on board. Let them listen to us speak about the entire progress and stuff. But I just want to make sure that our tools are at least out. So there's few things I can like kind of like emphasize people in public. Just want to organize few things and set up few things before just going public on spaces. But spaces wise audience, I think we are building a really good audience as such. Like so far in the spaces I've been in the last 3 weeks, I've been in 4 or 5 spaces. On an average, it's been 500, 600 people, right? And me and Posty have done quite a lot of spaces, to be honest. We can even make it a Wednesday night, PG Wednesday nights where me and Posty can host and few other guys if you want to come in. There's Abs as well who's interested. It's just that just want to make sure that we kind of make sure first our holders within the Discord first feel like, say for example, Kitty Kate coming in and about the floor, he's not going to sell but he's being bothered. I just first want to address his concerns like from inside, like bottoms up kind of thing, right? Like almost like making sure that people from within the community first understand what's happening before we kind of go up speaking to people in public, right? So yeah, I mean, like we can definitely start doing the spaces. I think maybe a week from November 1st. I think first week I think we can start jumping into spaces. That was my plan. So yeah.
All good, Sean. Well, I know we'll get to it eventually. And yeah, I was talking with Zero the other day. It's gonna happen.
Yep. I mean, like anybody else? I mean, Kitty Cat, you wanna come and speak? What do you think? I've kind of unmuted you if you wanna speak up. If you wanna tell something that what the team you think should be doing. You feel open to come and tell your views. We are definitely being open to listening. All right. I think whenever I ask people, I mean, I think we need to bring up more of this VC culture in the sense I don't see a lot of them come up to speak. Yeah, just want to try and like hopefully like build a lot more creative communications and like where we can communicate in a way. It's much easier when you speak and stuff. You guys come up with some points, some discussions. It definitely helps the entire ecosystem and also people. You as a holder at the end of the day should just feel satisfied with whatever you bought into, guys. That's it. No one, it's not something you shouldn't buy because someone's just telling you, or you shouldn't buy because you expect something, but purely because you guys feel comfortable buying into something, right? That should be the first and number one goal. And like for me buying into Neo Tokyo at $100,000, I keep telling this, right? It was my decision. I can't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody till this point, but I should have thought a bit more about it, right? Like just buying in and I didn't sell it at 70 ETH and stuff. It hurts, but the question is like, am I going to worry about it and go and kill Alex Becker, do something? Or I'm going to be like, all right, he didn't do shit. He launched it as a free mint. Why did I buy? What made me buy? It's that I trusted this guy has enough connections to get stuff done. And I bought it at 25 ETH or whatever when ETH was $4,000, right? So why did it change now, right? Nothing. It's just that I'm just kind of got pissed that there was a floor fluctuation nothing has changed. He's still been from day one what he's been doing. I think for Neo Tokyo, he's been doing the same. So similarly, I just see whether the fundamental has changed. The founders are the same. He's still there. He's he's still using his connections from what I know or what I'm able to see. He's tweeting about it, but he doesn't have to keep shilling about Neo Tokyo, right? He's built a community. That community is kind of like building a lot of stuff. So it's not just about Neo Tokyo. I bought a lot of projects like Kaiju's at 6 ETH, 3 Kaiju's at 6 ETH. It was 4,000. I bought like 4 Cyberkongs babies. That was back in the day, even before starting Gojira, I think. So the question is, who do I blame here? Right? I bought in. Why did I buy in? Because I believed or trusted that the team knows what they're doing. Why did it change? If the only time for me it should change when the team is sleeping or the team has changed, the management team has changed, and I'm not happy with the new team, or I feel like the founders or they're not providing regular updates or they're not active. Apart from that, if I bought at a price of 5 ETH and if the floor is 2 ETH or something now, I can't be going and blaming Kaiju's. It's just that I bought it like at a community. I bought into the community at different price when I felt it was like where I expected it to maybe grow more or something. But I can't go and blame a project as such. Hey, oh, I bought at 5 ETH. Did dots come and tell me to buy? Did somebody push me to buy? So if my friend pushed me to buy Kaiju's or anything at high, right, then I'll reevaluate my strategy. Should I just be buy? How many things did my friend tell me to buy or my friends? Is everything down? So if everything is down, maybe should I reassess my strategy? Should I not just buy into something because my friends still, but rather I should do my own research, right? So these are the questions I ask myself, right? So like what made me buy and what has changed, and is something fundamentally changed? If something fundamentally has changed, is there a reason for it? Um, Something the team can do, or is it something the team side of things that things are missing that that I'm upset now that it's fundamentally changed? So okay, let me say, even if the team has done something, is there a chance where first I express my concern to the team, possibly, right? Whether to see if they're listening, to revert back to the changes. It's purely the market is just not buying into the project now because they're just scared and they're just waiting from the sidelines, right? So these are some points I think what do you say, like as even like NFT traders got to ask ourselves to an extent, like to an extent at least. I like to ask this from time to time, but Shan, you made a list of types of holders, not only luck. Is that trust people that add value? Is there anything that you would like to see from holders? I think from holders as such, I think it's just like what to say, like the suggestions are obviously there. Is there any way you guys can contribute? Reach out to any of the teams. If you are like somebody told that they're IRL fashion designer or something. If you can contact, we could see if you guys could be part of a merch team for some of the this thing, like contracts and stuff. So yeah, I mean that's the way I think, like as a community you guys can step in if you want to, where you can also earn money, right? It's not something just for free, but if you feel that, oh Shan, I've got this some product production in my country, like someone came to us with a, like they got honey or something, right? That they got honey production or something, they want to use some Jira honey or something, they want to sell Jira honey or something like that. So they gave us some concepts, like concept models where they think what can happen, like so something like this, for example, right? Something like this, like it was just came in like yesterday, for instance, right? So I mean, there's products like this that's come up. We just have to think of a way to probably market it and kind of make sure that they also make money, we also make money, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just wanted to tell that FP is an important indicator. Market is always right. If it is tanking, even though you're introducing the product, something is wrong. I agree, but at the same time, I feel like Web3, I kind of have to disagree a bit. So if Goblins was at 80th point where nothing was happening, I don't think it's like they're launching a product and market is always right, like in that sense. So Web3 is a bit different. In that sense, even Web 2, like let's not forget that Web 2 as such, there's all this like penny stocks and shit coins, even in cryptos and stuff. Market is always right. Is a theoretically, I know. I mean, I'm not a like economist or something, but I do study my own side of investments and stuff. So I do know this line about market is always right. I don't believe that market is always right. I feel like it's arbitrary points. At a given point, the market is like thinks it's possibly right, but the long term wise, if people who bought something at like Bored Apes buying at 140 ETH, was it right? Was the market always right in that sense? Like buying even like other side land at 7 ETH or 9 ETH with paying 1.5 ETH gas and stuff. Was market always right? So the question is, and but those who sold bought at that price and sold at a higher value, for them it is right. So currently NFTs or Web3, I see it as a zero sum game, right? Currently, right, it's more looking like a zero sum game than a win all for everybody. It's not a win all. How do you say that as a again, I bring up this point, can someone come up, one of the like other big blue chip holders, just want to hear your points, right? It's not an argument or anything. Holding Azuki, which flies for 10 ETH, founder is making multi-millions, but as a holder, what is the benefit that's coming back to me? Till that is clear for me, I don't call it a long-term win for me. I don't, at least for me, I don't call it a long-term win. If Elon Musk and Tesla is making more money, value is reflected in the stocks because stocks are equity. When NFTs are not equity, what is determining the value for the floor for the short term? Like, can it be sustainable? Like, there's a pump to 20 ETH, comes back down to 10 or under 10. Moonbirds pump to 16 ETH, now back under 10. So I think visibility wise, yes, we are lacking. Visibility side, definitely we are lacking, right? Which can be a little frustrating for holders. They're like, oh fuck, these nonsense projects people are knowing about, and people don't know as much as about PG as much as they know about other some random shit projects. Visibility side is where I think Amrish and team, like, where they're on. It's kind of like, they're kind of like working on some stuff. So other than that, I don't believe in that statement about market is always right. Again, it's my view. There's multiple instances that market has definitely been wrong. So yeah, that's my take on that. But 100% as a visibility point of view, we got a lot more to do. Yes.
Good morning, guys. I just want to say good morning, Sean.
Is this, sorry, I missed.
I'm KT.
Oh, MKT. Hey, nice to talk to you after a long time, man. You're out of Pixel Anonymous, was it? Did you or somebody else?
I was taking a break.
Okay.
Needed
All right.
needed a slight break to focus on some stuff here, and I'm currently like transitioning to learning my father's like Web2 business. My parents they want to retire and move to our estate in Mexico, so I have to learn how to run the books, not cook the books, and learn how to order supplies. So it was difficult. I had my grandmother pass away. It's been a crazy month.
I don't know if I should be saying this. Sorry to hear that, but I'm in a way happy that kinda, it's okay that you don't have to be part of a team for a while. Just observe from the side. It's not the best time to be part of a team or launching a project. So I think in a way it's all for good. I mean, I don't, not in a bad way. I'm just saying it in a good way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like it's good if you can take a little bit of time before you get into like before you get drugged like Amresh and be part of team. Uh, so yeah. Well, I think pretty much. I think that's it. I just gotta go and sleep a bit as well. 3.5 hours. So just have another spaces coming soon. So we'll continue next week as well, guys. I think we'll do like a couple of voice chats a week or something once things just get a little more. There's a lot on our plate. Just it's like all over the place. Kind of just like just trying to sign up things one by one, right? So like get stuff done one by one and stuff. So once that's sorted, I'm hoping to spend more time, but it's just been time's been our enemy at this stage. So yeah. Let me know if anything. Just please, like, just tag any of the team members. I think Zero and G are almost always available, so you guys can just tag them, bring any concerns, fill up the forms or anything. Yeah. So I think thin. Okay, I'll just finish this. I think thin floor also doesn't make sense for me. Like, each one has got their opinions. KDPK, like, thin floor doesn't make any sense. Like, for me as well. Like, I don't think there's a super valuable indicator that shows anything except when you announce something. If the floor moves, something cool that you're announcing, and if the floor moves, that means there is visibility, and you're announcing something cool, and if the floor doesn't move, that means there is no visibility or not enough visibility. So that is the only thing I agree on, right? But do I want that? That's a different story, right? Whether I want the floor to always move every time we announce, and come back to the point where it was before, and be just serve as an exit liquidity for few people. That I don't know. I don't know if that's something I want or not. But the only metric that I see is that when new announcements come up, if the floor moves, like Cycle League Anonymous is a very good this thing. Like, I think recently they made an announcement that something is coming. Floor went close to 1 ETH, and I think it's again back to 0.65 or something, if I'm not mistaken. So it eventually, the balance is very important. Like, over a period of time, what floor price or what balance, that's kind of like, communities are holding. Like, looking at Jira M first, I feel like Jira M first, I'm kind of like thinking to multiple times, like, think of something like Jira M first. It gives me, like, sorry, not Jira M first, like M first, right? It kind of gives me the punk vibes. Like, there's nothing expected, no expectations, and floor is 1.1 ETH. So that kind of a thing, I'm kind of like trying to see how that community grew like that. It's kind of like very surprising, to be honest. Like, it's not about thin walls, or it's not about any tweets or anything. But there is a 43,000 ETH volume, and the floor just keeps, kind of going up. So it's kind of like in a different way, it's like a marvel, what's happening there. But again, a lesson for us, maybe we should take. Even 2 days back, there was a 12 ETH sale, like, that's crazy. So it almost feels like they've become like a modern day punk, I would say. Kitty Kate, also, if I'm not mistaken, Shan, you do not like the idea of Web3 projects to work with VCs, right? Yeah, I mean, like, yes, that's been my this thing, because any stage you have to pivot towards providing value back to your holders, which can be equity or dividends or anything, right? Someday, right? Um, Once you go to VCs, that's forever gone, right? It's forgotten, and it's almost impossible to take that pivot, which makes the question of bringing back the growth of the product back to holders even more harder, right? Like, in the sense, like, if I'm making $1 billion as a holder, I mean, as a founder of Gojira, for me, like, how am I going to translate it a little bit back into the holder side of things? Yes, I can keep building some brand values and brand stuff to make sure our brand is well known, but why would another Web2 guy keep coming in and buying in, buying in, and buying in, if he doesn't have like some form of assurance that he's getting buying into the brand? Like, it's a very tricky scenario, guys. Like, if you think about it, why would you buy into, like, again, I bring this, at least me, this is the way I think, right? Why would I buy into a high valued NFT when the founders get rich, but there's no chance for me to officially become part of the project, right? Like, where the growth of the project is directly correlated to my holdings, right? Even as I brought this point up, like Ape token drop, it was privately funded, right? Like, privately funded by some VCs and stuff. At least as an Ape holder, I should have got some chance to KYC and participate in the token purchase when it was like, when it was like 1 cent or 2 cents, right? As an NFT holder, if I don't even get that benefit, yes, I did get some airdrop. Okay, fine. But what about the chance for me to invest early on, like, $5,000 or $10,000, where that could have been turned into like $100,000, $200,000 now? If I don't get that chance as well to be a part of the thing, I personally I start questioning few things as a holder of some NFT. So purely as a consumer based NFT access, do I want to spend more than a particular amount? Do I want to like keep throwing in more money into like Artifact, right? I like them, I love them, and they keep allowing more sneaker purchases and stuff. But like for example, like if Artifact has grown into $100 billion industry, as a holder, how is this going to come back? So these are some questions that you would lose as a VCs are involved. You would lose the chance. Maybe they might go public. They might locate some stocks with which you can go and buy in or something like that as an NFT holder, maybe, right? But I don't know. It's well in the future. So I'm not against VC. Just that I just feel like you guys as a common people, for you guys to come and launch something, for having an idea which I think is about Web3 as well for me. Web3 is not about additional money into Web3 for me. For me personally, Web3 is allowing anyone to come up or show their talent, that's their artwork or through their dev skills or through their um, you know products or whatever they launch. That will be completely cut off for me, but like completely cut off, as a what, like as when VCs come in. That's it. You can 6 months back versus now. It's even if you have a good idea, it's impossible for you to launch a project now without VC backing. Like it's kind of in that kind of a meta now. It's almost impossible for a project to come and launch something without VC thing. So more money into Web3, yes, but it's again that money is just kind of going back into just few sets of people like A16Z and stuff like that, where they keep making more money, but as commoners, we don't know like how that's going to benefit us. That's it. Kitty Gate for sure. Like I think we are looking, as I said, like for Evolve. Yes, we are like quite in talks with few, and like getting few things sorted. For PG side, not exactly. So yes, we would like to connect to see for Evolve side of things what you can help us with. There's quite a few that for Evolve that we lined up. It's just that for us to like kind of find the right ones. What if VC only buys 20% or something? It's also again like comes down to it's not about the percentage, man. It's more about the conditions, the terms and conditions that come along with it. Even if you have to go and do a basic decision, you got to ask them for every single thing. Like it's not as easy as it looks. It's like, oh, you're only giving 7%, so you won't have the controlling authority. They're powerful, right? They can make or break you, like legit. They don't, sometimes if they have this egoistic this thing, we can be fucked. All right, so it's not about the percentage that we have to sell or anything. It's more about we want to keep it because we don't need major amount of fundings at this stage, right? So maybe when we set up few of the income streams, and maybe if we start making some money and stuff, in a different way, we prove we can get a much better valuation than at this stage. That's it. um so any percentage VCs get is we and the team lose. It's more about at the stage, as I said, like currently, if we don't at this stage, if we're gonna do that, I don't see any use for that. Like if you're gonna do that now, but might as well if we can show a lot more revenue streams now. Already from a month back to now, our revenue stream is much higher than like a month back, right? And few more products with say this Discord bots and other things that we have equity in, and make money from those are the points that we can show as and other products that's being launched, and we can show more income coming into the project. The valuation straight up doubles or triples, right? That's it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I mean, again, as I said, like I'm not against VCs, guys. It's just I think it's probably misunderstood. I'm not against. It's just that it depends for which project and what the projects are trying to do. It's not that we do not have like connections or weren't offered. It's just the fact that we just want to keep, you know, just there's some things that we want to keep as for narratives, right? Like building up, having our own narrative, which we want to keep up to us. Just want to show that certain things that can be done, get few of those stuff sorted even without other external involvements, just by ourselves, kind of thing, right? And let's say instead of showing like $10,000 a month revenue, you show $100,000 a month revenue. I think you can agree to that, kitty cat. Like if we show kitty cat, right? Sorry, if we show $100,000, like right now, say for example, we made 60 ETH last month, few ETH here and there from DevWorks or other things and all those kind of things, from Launchpad consultancy payments or whatnot. And we just have a few more products come out, say even some ETH from tools. It can even be 20 ETH from tools per month, for instance. We can show a lot more income streams which are in the works and we don't need money. What is the point in going in, like the same question? I become a hypocrite almost, like why did Doodles need to raise funds when they already have multiple millions already, right? So similarly, there are two things that can happen, right? We build our income stream and we are very well received by the community even without VCs. We can just continue the way we are going, right? Option number two is where we actually burn out all our funds, but we have set up a multiple revenue streams and services for our holders and the product and for the project, right? Our valuations will probably be much different, like with a 60 ETH a month income stream versus like a 200 ETH a month income stream. Your valuation is completely different, especially if you can show it consistently, right? So when we have the funds in hand, it's wiser for us to build those income streams, to slowly build up our portfolio of equity and products that we have under us, that the valuation gets better. Like I want to show something. I don't know if I can show this, but say for example, we were one of the projects that we are, I think I can tell this pretty much, I think, because it's confirmed. So like one of the projects that we are going to be Launchpad for, and like at least the Genesis collection that's coming out now, Jamie, I think the Genesis collection of this thing is confirmed, right? Like I'm just confirming with you, carbon thing. Is Jamie even here? Yeah, anyways, I think I'm pretty sure it's confirmed and we're down there. But like I'll just send you something, right? There's a project called Flow Carbon, right? That's the founder of Flow Carbon. One of the founders of Flow Carbon bought a Gen 2 like 4 days back, right? M Low, I think Michael Low. So 4 days back, he got it. So we are gonna help them with their Genesis drop and then probably the Gen 2 drop. You may ask what they do. They're doing something really, really good, right? So I'll talk about it. It's more about carbon credits and offsetting carbons in the space and few other things, right? But let me just show you something about their team and whom we are connected with as such, like directly as a Launchpad project, right? Let me just bring that up for you, so that like I don't know if you, because if I make this as a tweet, most of you won't read, so might as well, at least for the few who are here. I'm just trying to get that right contract. Where's that shit? Just 1 second, sorry. Did I keep it? So many groups. Oh yeah, you got it. All right. So if you just want to see this, right, Jamie, I'm just talking about the Genesis thing, flow carbon, what we're going to help with, just sharing with few people here. So just see this article and just Adam Newman's this is the way articles post, but just look at his background as such, right? Adam Newman, co-founder of WeWork and the crypto company Flow Carbon, right? It's the way everybody calls NFT scams and all those kind of things, but the main point what you got to see here is that Flow Carbon is a project that's got $70 million backing, right? You read the article. So they got $70 million backing from A16Z, right?
But it's Adam Newman though.
Right? What?
Oh, I said it, but it's Adam Newman, Sean.
Yeah, Adam Newman. He's basically the co-founder of other like WeWork and also for this thing. What is it? Flow Carbon, right? So it's backed by $70 million, right? And why did they approach us for for being a consultant or this thing? It's not just a coincidence or without they just came up randomly out of the blue, right? So the thing is, we also have got so we would be pretty much directly working with them for their Genesis drop, which is kind of like some cool stuff, but it's mainly it's involving a lot of carbon credits and stuff, like but even something like this is always seen as a scam from the external world. That's how you see those articles and stuff. But more importantly, the people who are being involved there, and A16Z is also like offered some points like this, right? So a part of the deal, all right, a part of the deal that we had with Flow Carbon is direct link to A16Z. All right, that's one of the deals that we had pretty much signed the contract. So the point is it's not that we don't have access to VCs or it's hard to kind of pitch our few of the ideas, which I'm pretty sure a lot of them are impressed. It's more about we're just trying to fight against those again like corporate. I think Postman would appreciate us doing that because a lot of them, it's kind of I don't want to call us rebellious, but it's more like just want to show that you don't just need to be you can have the connections, you can get stuff done, you get few of those stuff that you want, like connections for some clothing brands or connections for few things, even by helping in different way without having just VCs behind you. Yes, having VCs can open up the project to a lot of other whales and stuff like Dingalings or anybody. They probably would notice it a lot more than without VCs, for sure. It makes a lot of sense. But let's show with our products for a while. Let's see. And if those products, if we still, even after all that, it's not bringing us money or it's not bringing us attention, then we are open to it. I'm not stubborn for that. That's it. That's pretty much I'm not like a stubborn cunt. I'm just gonna be oh, I'm not gonna do shit, knowing that it's not working. So far, it's going well. I don't want to change it. That's it. So far for us, I'm happy with the way things are going for us from the back end. So there's nothing for us to change as such. We have also invested in a company that is backed by Sino Capital Global, right? So that company's it's 20% of what we invested is from PG, right? So it's for PG, using PG's wall. So that's, if you see what are the projects Sino Global Capital has backed before, the track record, FTX, Polygon, Solana. So these were all an early equity stage. So we have also invested in a project that it's not easy for common people to get access to. And we have invested it in, personally as well as from PG's wallet as such. So it's equity plus tokens, even before the seed round, right? So it's equity round. I posted the link for Sino Global Capital here. So it's not easy getting access to pre-seed round from a top tier project that's valuated at $60 million and backed by Sino Global, A16Z, and few other. This is not Flow Carbon. This is a different project that we have. I think we are under NDA till we get the contract in hand, but we already have paid and stuff. So we're just waiting for the final confirmation, right? So, we just, this kind of an investment, obviously I'm not going to sell the moon here, but something like, imagine a $20,000 investment in Solana under a dollar, under $0.05 when it came out, right? That's what that's the kind of opportunity we are getting for a lot of projects. We are selective with what projects we are investing in, to ensure that the funds are utilized well. And even 1 out of 5 are doing well. That's a huge win. Just for simple clarity, $20,000 in Solana would have given you back $1 billion, not a billion, probably $100 million, right? Before the equity round, during the equity round. So like, that's the number, and that's the kind of game that we are willing, or we are playing with a very, very, very small amount. Where that's why, like, people like B Money and Sack Attacking and few others are helping heavily vet the project, vet the founders who are behind it. So we are taking a route which most projects are not even taking. All right, I'm not just talking about a lot of things, because obviously you don't want to just keep, like, don't want to sell the dream. When it happens, people would see it. But we are literally investing in a pre-seed round of proper, investment, which we wouldn't have got this opportunity, guys. Like, or else it's almost why do they want to give us this opportunity? Because this $20,000 or $30,000 or whatever, or 100,000 that we are investing in is nothing for them, and they've raised 10-20 million dollars. But they want a solid Web3 community that they can put as one of the early backers. For them, they want that Web3 feel, right? Which no project is open to, nor even like explode, right? This is something like Ruben. I don't know, Ruben is here, but Gooden, like basically one of our team members, he's been like heavily working with a lot of other projects and going and meeting in person and stuff, getting these kind of opportunities. Okay. So the point is that these kind of opportunities are not easy to get, and these can be like, huge, wins. I'm not saying everything can be successful, but at least there's few shots that have definitely are like, worst case, I think a lot of you guys in IDOs or something, if it's a good one, you guys know at least you can make back a minimum of 3x or 4x when the tokens come out, right? So the aim for us is slowly to bring back these opportunities to holders in a legal way, right? So that these opportunities can be like almost like a crowd pitched by Gojira holders, if they want, if they're interested, if they're keen, get into these investments, right? Like, again, there's very few people here. Just don't immediately come and like, crush my neck. We are heavily trying to get this across to holders, which can be huge when you guys can put in like $500 or $1,000 and group buy of 30 people or 40 people, whomever it's open to or something. Like, this is how I made my money. I made a lot of money with IDOs and early investments and pre-equity stage. It's not comparable to any of the tokens you guys are buying, or comparable to any of the NFTs you guys are buying, right? um, like, you tell me now, like, how do I tell this to public at this stage when it's not finalized, but our investment is finalized, right? I can only talk about our investment and the path we are taking. Many won't even understand what's happening. So the market is in a different way. I'm like, oh, Kojira has invested into what is it? This project XYZ, not gonna name, backed by Sino Capital A16Z, and this means they have a 1% equity, and this means that they have a chance to get X million dollars or something if it grows even by 10x or something, right? How do you? It's hard for us to come up and make this public at this stage, when until we prove with one product, when it actually succeeds, and be like, guys, our $100,000 investment or our $20,000 investment is now worth $16 million something, and we are withdrawing it. So here you go. This is one of the 5 investments we made a year back. This is the kind of post that can probably bring in or attract real investors in. But after seeing some stuff that we are doing in the back, it's hard for me to talk about some random shit. I mean, I don't even consider now that Jira Exchange is an important equity. I mean, important product that we launched. Like, because my mind keeps shifting. I'm like, oh, there's even better products that's coming out from Jira, and I don't want to keep talking about Jira Exchange. Next is tools. Amresh and me have a different view in that sense, right? Yeah. For me, in the sense, like, it's one aspect is talking about the products that you already dropped. For me, it's like there's more attractive products coming out, and I'm trying so hard to know how to control it or release the news in a controlled manner. But there's quite a lot of things coming up, right? It's just that we have to like kind of like just make sure that not just the public doesn't get in for the wrong reasons. Okay, I don't want them to come in and just be like, tomorrow there's going to be an announcement. No, it's going to take a week or 2 or a month, whenever they give us the the freedom to announce which project it is and how much we invested. I'm going to make a public announcement, but till then I just got to be quiet about it, right? So that's the kind of thing.
Hey, Sean. I have a quick question before you go. I know you want to go to sleep. I know you've been here for hours. Can you explain the fractionalized Genesis Jiras and the benefits, do those have something on chain like an IP that
No
is
man, I
stored in the
think
wallets?
yeah, there is a custodian wallet that's got the the Genesis and the Gen 2s that came with it stored in the wallet. I'll pretty much conduct a separate one with G and stuff. I wanted to bring this up because fractionalization is a future this thing. So I think we should make it looking. I'm really sorry. I mean, like, who's here who's holding a fraction, we've been like trying to, we'll compensate you for the delay, but we just are gonna make it like on chain and ensure that it's there's a free flow stuff happening, right? Like, so that we don't have to depend on us to kind of like manually take care of the fractional genesis, right? So yeah,
Thank you.
no problems. I think yeah, that's it, guys. Like, pretty much this is where I'm pausing, but I just wanted to show that one example of the Launchpad project that we got. That Gojira is going to be helping, and it's a pretty big deal. And second thing is about how we are investing. Like, when we are investing into these projects and these products, if they grow a little bit, um, you know, if products with even a little bit of growth, we have equity in those products, which means if we want to sell a percentage to VCs, it will be much more valuable than the way it is now. That's it. How much supply you expect at the end? What if person X with only one Gen 2 doesn't want to sell? And it's nothing, it's only a max of, I think, 333 good ones that can be merged, 333 evil and 333 hybrid. We did pause it for a long time because obviously market conditions and stuff, but then we want to go with it. It's just a little bit of gamification and stuff. Because like we just want to try and bring in some separate or segregate few of the clans or values to the 333 hybrids, titans and mechas, and also the rest of the Gen 2s. If you don't want to merge it, it's fine. It's not going to change anything. It's the same thing like what two people have. Just want to make sure that if somebody's holding a two Gen 2s, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard for them in a different way, but now that could be a much easier way for them to get a little bit of different access or tiered accesses. Like, for example, if we launch a product, doesn't mean every product is going to be free for all the holders, right? There could be significant discounts, but we just want to make sure that not every product we drop, we just want some funds to keep developing or launching more products, right? So which means like, the Genesis, the Gen 2s, the ones fused ones can get like 50% discount. Normal Genesis can get like 30% discount. Vera voxels can get 10% discount, but rest of them won't get any discounts. So some little bit of thing. That's it. What happened to invested money minds program? I don't know what you mean by that, but if you mean about having a chance to invest into those projects where Gojira and personally we are investing in, yeah, it's like still working out how we can do it to ensure that we don't get fucked up because of legal issues. But we found a project that actually is doing it, but they're anonymous, right? So they kind of doing it, but nobody who's doxed is actually doing. We just have to find if we have to set up a DAO kind of thing so that you guys can like jump into the DAO server or something, but just finding a different kind of a route to just keep ourselves safe, because it's definitely a worthy this thing even for us and for the holders. If we can bring those opportunities for holders, maybe in the start it could just mean be few people who are ready to KYC, try it with 10 or 20 Genesis holders who want to try those investments in the start. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Make the DAO a different entity. Can you check your LinkedIn inbox? We had a small talk. Man, I think LinkedIn as well. Yeah, I have to look into it. It's been a while. There's been like DMs from all over. I posted about the job offers and it's been filled. Oh, Jamie, technically today is the first day of me joining Gojira, isn't it? Like coming into the server or something. As an advisor or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's October 23. Probably a year back. Not sure if Jamie is still here. I think he probably left. Yeah, I think it was October 23. I guess that was the first day I joined Gojira as an advisor. Time just ran along. Kind of weird how I first connected with Jamie, asking for whitelist spots for my group. And then it turned into this. All right. It's actually, when was it? 18th October. I came into the server. Yeah, 25th October actually. Yeah, 25th October is when I took up my job. So which is roughly in a day. Now it's 24th October in Australia. So yeah, roughly in a day. Cool. I think catch you guys again. Then I think hours of sleep before I have a space. I don't know if it's going to be a spicy space or I'm going to lose some friends from the space. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. All right, guys. Catch you then.